Thanks, Dan, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. If you didn't believe in the playoffs before this week, surely the events of the past few days have rekindled your interest in this extraordinary post-season jamboree. It's 5 years since these two teams, Stockport County and Salford City, were playing one another in the National League North, the division below the National League, and now here they are in the League 2 playoffs. Stockport, who won promotion to League 2 last year, looking for back-to-back promotions under Dave Challoner. Salford, who've never experienced the EFL playoffs before, having had a few dalliances with the lower reaches of the playoffs in previous seasons but never quite made it. It's a Greater Manchester derby. This rivalry between the two is not quite at fever pitch as it will be between the two Manchester clubs, but maybe an occasion like this might just be one that's talked about down the years by either set of supporters. The good news for Dave Challoner and Stockport is that both Paddy Madden and Isaac Olafe are fit to start, and Will Collar and Anthony Sarcevic are fit to return to the bench. Far more striking options for the Hatters then than what they had at the Peninsula last Saturday. Olafe and Madden start, Ryan Rydell and Joe Lewis also brought in. It's still a 3-5-2 for Stockport County. Ben Hinchliffe is the goalkeeper, Joe Lewis, Fraser Horsfall and Chris Hussey in a back three. Five across midfield, Kyle Noyle, Akil Wright, Callum Camps, Connor Lemonhay-Evans and Ryan Rydell, and then Isaac Olafe and Paddy Madden as two up front. For Salford, far more straightforward, unchanged from the first leg, although Ethan Galbraith, who's just about to leave Manchester United at the end of his contract, he returns to the bench. Alex Cairns, the goalkeeper, a back four of Liam Shepherd, Theo Vassell, Adrian Mariappa and Ibou Toure. Elliot Watt and Stevie Mallon are the holding midfielders, with Luke Bolton, Callum Hendry and Colin McKelney in behind Matt Smith up front. Our referee this afternoon is Ben Toner. Beautiful Greater Manchester weather, the complete opposite to the cliche we normally spout about the way the weather is around these parts. And we're underway on Talksport 2 in the League 2 playoff semi-final second legs. We've got Carlisle Bradford to come straight after this game, exclusive to the Talksport app. And Salford are wearing their traditional red shirts, white shorts and socks. Stockport in blue shirts and socks, white shorts as well. And Salford are attacking left to right as we look at the back of the Danny Bergara main stand. So Salford heading for the Cheadle end, which is the tallest of the four stands around this stadium, and Stockport win a free kick inside the first 40 seconds, which Joe Lewis will leave for Ben Hinchliffe, who made some important saves to keep the score down in that first leg. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, afternoon dance, afternoon everybody. Yeah, well, what an occasion. You know exactly what's at the end of this game is an opportunity to go to Wembley Stadium and a chance to leapfrog into League One, which will be absolutely fantastic for either of these clubs. We know the story and the journey that Salford City have been on. Stockport are on a similar journey themselves. They have to overturn a one-goal deficit. You can see the way they've started this game on the front foot. It is going to be frantic.
The challenges are thundering in already, and challenge on Elliot Watt gives Salford a free kick midway point of their own half. Don't forget they're underway over on Talksport at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs Brentford, Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce are your commentary team there. You can just use the app. I'm sure by now you've got the Talksport app downloaded for your smartphone and just flip between the two commentaries as you please. Free kick then to be sent downfield for Salford by Alex Cairns, left-footed down to the middle of the half, flicked on by Matt Smith. He'll win a few of those this afternoon, you can be sure. Won it against Chris Hussey, who's normally a left wing back but playing as one of three centre halves today. Not an unfamiliar position to him, Mickey, but he's been more used to playing on the left of this 3-5-2 formation.
Yeah, well, he's got an important role today, Dan, hasn't he, Chris Hussey? It's going to be interesting to see what they actually do with Matt Smith. Whether they get one of the midfield players just to drop in front of him so he can't get that leap against Hussey, if that's where he's going to be trying to win his aerial battles. But you can see the game started. Both sides are trying to play the ball long just to stretch the pitch as much as possibly can. But that ball from left back, Mariappa, that diagonal pass to Smith is going to be a key factor for Salford today.
Ball drops at the edge of the centre circle. We played 2.5 minutes on Talksport 2, 0-0. Salford leading by a 1-0 from the first leg of the Peninsula. And Joe Lewis whacks the ball onto the roof of the family stand opposite us. Bounces down, and Salford will have a throw out on the left-hand side. Ibu Toure, one of the longest-serving players, free from Nantwich in 2017, not too far from here, and well over 270 appearances. The Gambian left-back swings the ball, looking for Matt Smith inside the area, gets the head on it from just inside the 18-yard line. Again, it snuck in behind Hussey, but the header was quite comfortably claimed by Hinchliffe on his goal line. And now Theo Vassell for Salford, back in his own penalty area, just turns away in the nick of time from Isaac Olafe, and Liam Shepherd clips the ball downfield, trying to get Colin McKelney in behind, but that's tidied up, and away comes Carl Noyle for Stockport County up to the halfway line, tight to the far right-hand touchline. Tries to send the ball downfield, and it will drop for Callum Camps. Madden, middle of the half for Stockport, lays it off to Chris Hussey. Hussey gets his head up, drills the ball diagonally to the edge of the area, but headed out by Toure. Now it's Joe Lewis out to Noyle on the Stockport right, in front of the Salford fans in that away end. And then down goes Lemony Evans, wants a free kick. Nothing doing. Salford clear their lines. Joe Lewis brings it down, and it's gone out for a throw. Claims for handball are waved away by the referee. It's very, very high tempo, up and at him in these early stages, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, without a doubt, what an opportunity that was for Matt Smith. Don't understand where Chris Hussey was. He just drifted inside too much, and he left so much space for Matt Smith over on this right-hand side to get that free header in. Great opportunity early stages of this game for Salford.
Salford lost 2-0 to Stockport back on the 22nd of October, and Paddy Madden scored that day, and then it was a 1-1 draw here at the end of March. Callum Hendry equalised Connor Lemony Evans' goal. Their first league meetings ever. 2017-18, as I mentioned, they were both in the National League North.
I don't think they've won here either. Four occasions, I think.
That's correct.
Salford, yeah. So they're going to have to turn that round if they want to go through to the final.
So throw to Salford on the halfway line. Toure launches it downfield, looking for the giant Matt Smith. It will drop in the centre of midfield. Salford trying to work the ball to the edge of the area, and the drive comes in from Conor McKelney straight at Hinchliffe, who makes a fairly comfortable regulation save. But again, Salford finding a bit of space in and around the Stockport penalty area. 0-0. Break off for a moment, because down the left-hand side comes Ryan Rydell, lays it off to Callum Camps, spins away from Elliot Watt down the left wing. Can he wrap his left foot round the cross? Hits it against Shepherd, wins the throw for Stockport. 0-0.
Yeah, again, you know, it's end-to-end football, but the best opportunities are coming for the away side. Brilliant opportunity for McClenny there. It's too much space. If you're a Stockport midfield player, you've got to try and get closer to your man.
Chris Hussey gives the ball back to Rydell. Cross goes into the box. Madden tried to flick the ball goalwards from around the penalty spot. Poor clearance from Salford. One back by Rydell. Drops at the edge of the area for Camps. Sends it across to the right-hand side. Little step inside by Noyle, but that was dispossessed. And then Akil, right for Stockport, thundered in and won the ball back for the home side. Incessant pace to these opening 6.5 minutes on Talksport 2. Stockport a goal down from the first leg, but being roared on by this crowd here at Edgeley Park as Ryan Rydell just touches the ball round Liam Shepherd but can't find Olafe. Instead Salford clear, and Callum Hendry spins neatly in the centre circle and tries to release the ball down the right hand side for Luke Bolton, but he won't catch up with the ball. The pitch, which is in excellent order, was heavily watered before kick-off, and it skipped away from him and out for a goal kick to Stockport to our right. 0-0. Mickey Gray.
Well, it's the start that I was expecting. A little bit frantic dance from both teams, isn't it? Stockport's best opportunity. Ryan Rydell, who has to try and burst forward down this left-hand side to put the service into the box for the likes of Paddy Madden. He nearly got on the end of it, didn't he? He was just a little bit behind him, couldn't really keep it down. But as for chances so far, Salford, there's no question about the two best opportunities of the game.
Down the left-hand side for Stockport, Isaac Olafe can't keep the ball in play. Throw to Salford. It'll be 10 years next year since the class of 92 made their investment into Salford City. And the likes of Paul Scholes, I think Ryan Giggs here today.
I saw Nicky Butt and Roy Keane as I was just chatting away to a few people behind the scenes here, Dan. So I think they've certainly bought into it, no question of that.
Now Stockport trying to attack down the left-hand side with Ryan Rydell. Good run and across into the near post. Again looking for Paddy Madden, but it was well dealt with by Adrian Mariappa. A name familiar to many listeners, I'm sure, for his long time spent at Watford. Free agent for Salford during this season. Now here down the left-hand side is Conor McKelney, out to the right-hand side and Luke Bolton, but Rydell puts his foot in, goes out of play for a Salford throw, 10 yards from the corner flag, 0-0 with 8.5 gone.
Well, Colin McClenny, Salford, the start of the game on fire. He's finding a lot of space in that midfield area, loves to pick the ball up and start driving it towards that 18-yard area. And you can see the amount of space that he's trying to find. He's just lovely with he gets his head up, he plays the ball out wide, he knows when the challenge is going to come in.
Cross comes in from the left-hand side. Matt Smith goes out to retrieve it for Salford. Been tracked all the way by Joe Lewis, so he rolls it back to the middle of the half and Ibou Touré. Lovely cross. Hendry straight to the keeper with a header. Callum Hendry right in front of goal. Sends his header straight into the grateful arms of Ben Hinchliffe, and another great chance goes begging for Salford City. 0-0.
What a chance. Brilliant play again down that left hand side. Touré loves getting forward, doesn't he, on the left for Salford City, and he puts a super ball in. Well, you have to question the three centre halves of Stockport. I mean, he's got so much space, hasn't he, Callum Hendry, in that 18-yard area. He's just got to guide it into one of the corners. Makes great contact with it, but goalkeeper Ben Hinchcliffe, he just stood in that Stockport goal, and luckily for him it goes straight into his hands. But what a chance for the away side.
Now Stockport have a free kick as we reach the 10-minute mark on Talksport 2 in this League 2 semi-final playoff second leg, and Chris Hussey will drive the free kick from just inside the Salford half out to the right-hand side of the penalty area. Salford get it clear, but it goes out of play for a throw. McKelney thought it was a foul on him. Now down the right-hand side, chance for a cross from Camps, but there's red shirts back there to get it clear, but nobody on halfway for the visitors, so it's Chris Hussey that collects the ball in the centre circle, fires a diagonal ball out to the right-hand side. Lemony Evans knocks it down, turned round the corner by Fraser Horsfall, who stayed forward, and Ibou Touré back doing his defending this time, clears out to the left-hand side, but Lemony Evans trying to keep it in play for Stockport, sees the ball bounce off his toe and out for a Salford throw in front of those travelling fans who've not had far to travel, of course, today. I wonder if they'll get the chance to travel to Wembley. They weren't really able to travel to Wembley when they reached the Papa John's final, which they won. Richie Wellens was manager. They were in touch with the playoffs that season, but he was soon dismissed. And now he's just taken Leyton Orient up as champions. Now, diagonal ball picks out Rydell, left-hand side of the area, across the face of goal for Stockport, but Theo Vassell got an important challenge in, but then it's been given away. Picked up by Callum Camps down by the corner flag at the Vitality Railway end to our left, but then he's dispossessed the ball, clipped down the Salford right, and it's stayed in play, has it? Although referee Toner wants to see what the issue is, as Ryan Rydell has stayed down inside the area following that attempt to flick it across the face of goal, and he's going to get some treatment, and that means an impromptu drinks break for the players, not for me and Mickey Gray. 11 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, I think there was just a little bit of contact there on Ryan Rydell as he was trying to put that ball in with the outside of his right foot, weirdly enough. And I think the arm just came across the top of his face, but he'll be okay. I think he's just getting the right treatment, but it does give the opportunity for both sides to come over and have a little drinks break. Look, it is hot out there, I have to say. Players are going to have to soak up a little bit of energy, but it gives the chance for the coaches and managers to have a word with the players to see what they've liked and what they've disliked in the first few minutes of this game. But Salford have started the game very well. Very good opportunity, that Callum Hendry opportunity. It's a great ball in from the left-hand side from Touré. But I think he has to do better, Dance. He's just got to guide it towards one of the corners, make it really hard for Ben Hinchcliffe in that Stockport goal. and that would be the worst start for the home side. Unfortunately, went straight into the goalkeeper's hands. But Stockport need to settle themselves down a little bit. They've not really started the way I expected them to.
Well, Rydell's back on his feet and just coming back to the halfway line and waiting for the referee's instruction to come back onto the field. You're listening to Stockport 0, Salford 0 in the EFL League 2 playoff semi-final, live on Talksport 2 with Carling. We're made by our mates, 18 plus, drink responsibly. Out comes the goalkeeper Hinchliffe, and Luke Bolton lobs it over him but got it way over the crossbar. But again, uncertainty from the Stockport back three, which Salford tried their best to capitalise on, Mickey.
I just think the organisation, you need somebody in that, the back three, to organise the three centre-halves so you know exactly what's coming, because they're worried about Matt Smith. Everything is being directed towards the big centre-forward. They've got midfield runners going off them, and on this occasion, again, Luke Bolton, he just gets there before the goalkeeper.
Hussey for Stockport, down the left-hand side. Ball's volleyed clear from the edge of his own penalty area by Theo Vassell. So it'll be a throw to Stockport, attacking the Vitality Railway end to our left-hand side. Me and Mickey sat towards the back of the main stand here at Edgeley Park. Hussey couldn't keep the ball in play as he received the ball back from Rydell, who's back out there. So we're back to 11 against 11, and Salford will have the throw. Stockport were National League champions last year after 2 top 7 finishes. Before that, they were National League North champions in 2019. This is Salford's 4th season as a League 2 side after their promotion from the National League, and as we mentioned before kick-off, it's their first ever experience of the EFL playoffs. Bradford or Carlisle await in the final. That game is live, exclusive to the Talksport app at 3 o'clock this afternoon here on Talksport 2. We'll be off to the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth against Manchester United with Nigel Adderley and Perry Groves, the former Arsenal title winner, your commentary team on the South Coast. Ball headed clear for Salford by Liam Shepherd, volleyed downfield by Elliot Watt. It's well struck. It's just ahead of the run to both Matt Smith and Conor McKelney, so it's back with Hinchliffe. And now Stockport passing the ball along their back line. It bypasses Fraser Horsfall, and Chris Hussey will drive the ball, looking for Alafe to make a run down the left-hand channel. He's done that, and he's taken Mariappa out to this near side with him. Gives it back to Ryder. Good ball in over the head of Lemony Evans at the far post. It was coming in, and it goes out of play for a throw to Salford. 0-0.
It's got great quality. Ryan Rydell all on this left-hand side for Stockport. He doesn't even think about it, does he? He just whips that ball into dangerous areas. And Lemony Evans just tried to get in front of the fullback there, albeit it was very difficult. He was leaping, trying to jump over the fullback's head. Couldn't really get great contact on it. They're just starting to settle themselves down now, the home side, after a really shaky start.
Tottenham 1, Brentford 0 over on Talksport. In our other commentary we have for you at the moment, guess who? Yep, Harry Kane. What's that, 27 for the season now?
Unbelievable.
Tottenham 1, Brentford 0, live on Talksport right now with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. If you've got the app, then you can easily swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2. Salford give the ball away. Madden trying to set Alafe away. He's drifted out to the left-hand side of the area to retrieve the ball. Salford trying to get players back. Alafe drives for the byline, pulls it back. Vassell gets a foot in at the near post to divert it away from danger, at least temporarily. And then it's picked up by Luke Bolton, and an offside flag has gone up against a Stockport player. But there was a bit of a lax back pass on around the halfway line from Salford, and Madden was onto it in a flash, Mickey Gray.
He was, yeah. And Alafe broke down inside him. It's nice to see two centre forwards start getting a bit of a connection with each other together, but what a challenge from Theo Vassell. He just got a little bit of a nick which deflected the ball out wide. Alafe had to come outside. He had to then wait for midfield runners to try and get themselves into the box. It was very difficult. His weaker left foot to try and pick anybody out. But you can see now they're trying to get in behind these two fullbacks of Salford.
Alafe looking for Paddy Madden, who's trying to chase down the goalkeeper as it rolls back to Alex Cairns. Good left-footed clearance from Cairns for Salford, flicked on by Smith, but nobody in a red shirt ahead of him, so 2 bounces and it's through to Hinchliffe, the Stockport keeper, who's in all lime green this afternoon. Driven downfield by Joe Lewis, looking for Alafe, who's offside. It's quite a few offsides that Stockport have been guilty of in the last few minutes. Paddy Madden, 33 years of age now, over 600 club appearances, and Dave Challoner was desperate to get at least him back for today to add that bit of experience and know-how to an occasion such as this, Mickey.
Yeah, you completely needed experience, a little bit of physicality in those forward areas, and he certainly brings that in abundance, doesn't he, Paddy Madden? Been involved in the game quite lively actually in the first 10-15 minutes of this game.
I remember the jeopardy. Salford have a 1-goal lead going into this second leg, and now a foul by Horsfall on Matt Smith and a forearm across the face of Matt Smith, and a yellow card for Fraser Horsfall for that challenge that gives Salford a free kick about 35 yards out to the right of centre.
Well, it was rightly so given as a yellow card. You can see it, Fraser Horsfall, as Matt Smith he's basically split across to the right hand side. He's winning every single duel, and Horsfall just swings that arm right across the face of Matt Smith. He's such a threat, isn't he, Danton? I talked about the willing runners in behind with Bolton and McLary over on the left-hand side. Well, he's getting bodies around him. All he has to do is get the slightest little touch. You've got those midfield runners, and he's causing so many problems to this back line of Stockport County.
Stevie Mallon's going to take the free kick for Salford. So it's just past the midway point of the half, a little bit to the right of centre, and the two-man Stockport wall is lined up just ahead of the 18-yard line. Lots of players at the far post. Over on the far left-hand side of the area, Mallon clips it into the area. Up goes Smith, but it's headed away by Joe Lewis that time, or Horsfall, I beg your pardon. But it's now played down the left-hand side of the box for Salford, looking for the run down the left-hand side of Mariappa, but it's cleared downfield. I thought for a moment that Madden and Alape might get onto the loose ball, and Shepherd has whacked his clearance out of play for Salford into the Stockport fans on the far side. We played 19 minutes on Talksport 2. Salford are still a goal up on aggregate, because here it's still 0-0. Mickey Gray.
Well, that long ball today for both sides is going to be absolutely key. We've seen Stockport trying to play one themselves there, but really clever from Abu Toure in that left back position for Salford. You could see the run from Ayofe, but he just blocked him off. He couldn't get it behind, so there was a little bit of a groan from the Stockport County supporters there. They saw it, the linesman, the referee didn't. It's been a very physical start also to the game.
Stockport with a long throw into the box, but repelled by Salford. But it comes back Salford's way in their blue shirts, and then Callum Hendry wins the ball just shy of the halfway line and tries to launch a counter-attack. McHale down the left-hand side takes Horsfall out there with him, gets toward the byline, then chops back in on his right foot, left-hand corner of the area, lays it off to Mallon. Mallon to the left-hand corner of the box, onto his right foot, tried a shot, it's deflected. Smith gets in front of the keeper, tries to get a shot away, and it's blocked away by the legs of Hinchliffe. Everyone waiting for an offside flag that did not come, and the ball still with Salford on the left. Toure with the cross, blocked, but Toure gets it back, left-hand corner of the area. Good industry from Ibu Toure. Now Shepherd, the other fullback, on the Salford right, midway point of the half, turns away from Callum Campson, gives it back to Elliot Watt. Neat ball clips along the halfway line, but it's intercepted by Lemony Evans to keep it away from Mariappa, but he gave away a foul in doing so. It's high tempo stuff, but everyone was waiting for the referee to blow his whistle, that it seemed to me, Mickey Gray. 0-0.
I mean, we're watching the game, and the build-up from Salford was really good down that left-hand side, but as the ball fell to Matt Smith in pretty much the 6-yard area, it took a slight little deflection, and I think that's why Matt Smith was called onside. But the goalkeeper, Hinchcliffe, he reacted a little bit too late for it, stretched out an arm. Smith got his body in front of it. Again, it's another big opportunity, but they look nervy, don't they, Stockport at the back. Got to calm themselves down a little bit.
Hinchcliffe did make some important saves at the Peninsula after Salford had gone 1-0 up. It was a much more even contest in the second half, but I think Salford might wish they'd notched another. I think 2-0 might have been a scoreline that might have been more representative, certainly the way the first half or so went.
But the key in playoff stance is to be in the second leg.
Yes.
You don't want it to drift away from you. And I think that was important. So those saves from Hinchcliffe in that first tie, it gives Stockport the opportunity today.
Free kick to Salford, midway point of the first half, 0-0. Luke Bolton with his back to goal, 30 yards out. Clips the ball out to this near side, the Salford right, and Shepherd tucks it back in field and plays a 1-2 with Bolton. Clips it across the face of goal, but neither Smith nor Hendry were there. But Hendry chases out to the left-hand side of the area to retrieve it for the Ammies. Now Toure knocks it in field. Stevie Mallon goes for goal and claimed right under his crossbar by Hinchliffe. That was swerving from Stevie Mallon of Salford. Hinchliffe dealt with it well, held on to it, and another half chance goes begging for Salford at 0-0.
Had a little bit of dip on it as well. It was the one that Hinchliffe had to watch all of the way. But look, I mean, the tactics of this game, Dance, and I don't understand, because Matt Smith is winning every single header, those long balls coming forward. I don't understand why Stockport are not putting a midfield player in front of the striker. It makes it so difficult to try and get flick-ons, and there again, look, he just takes people out of the game with one flick.
You would expect Akil Wright to be the obvious player to do that, who can play centre-half for Stockport, playing in central midfield today. Yeah, that would be an obvious player to be detailed to that sort of job.
Yeah, well, when you play against big centre-forwards, he's there on his own. You've got a spare man. You've got to play him in front of the centre-forward. Just take his eye away from the ball.
Right off for Stockport, clips the ball into the area. Alafe tried to get his head on it, and it's a bit of a 50-pence header from Alafe. Went a good 10 yards wide. He rose really well in the centre of the half from Rydell's left wing cross, but the header, he got it all wrong. Goal kick.
It's better. I mean, Stockport certainly looks stronger down this left-hand side with Ryan Rydell. He's put some fantastic balls into the area. This time it probably falls to Alafe, maybe the man that you don't want it to fall to. And as you said there, Dan, he kind of got his header all wrong. Maybe too good of a contact. Tried to make all the power himself because he was far away from the goal. But that's the option. Down this left-hand side for Stockport, they've got a little bit of space because they're doubling up, and they're finding those great balls when they put them in the area.
Home fans a bit upset that Alex Cairns was taking rather a long time with his goal kick. We seem to be saying that an awful lot about goalkeepers getting the ball back into play regardless of the level. Alapes giving chase again, and Stockport hit the ball long downfield. He's in behind Vassell for the moment, holds the ball up as he gets down the left-hand side of the area. Tries to turn past Vassell as he won a corner. No, it's given us a goal kick by referee Bentona. Away to our left-hand side of that open away end, railway end. And it's a goal kick to Salford City. 25 gone on Talksport 2. 0-0 on the day. Still 1-0 on aggregate to Salford. Now McKelney has got in behind down the left-hand side for Salford on the far side of the field towards the Cheadle end. Holds the ball up, tries to step inside two defenders, but Noyle was helping out Lewis and did really well for Stockport. Won the ball back and then cleared the ball downfield and drifts out of play for a Salford throw. 0-0.
See, that's better. From a Stockport perspective, you've got Lewis and Noyle doubling up, because McElhenney looks a real live wire, doesn't he? He's making some fantastic runs. He's obviously full of confidence, loves taking defenders on, and he's causing so many problems. But also Stockport are not helping themselves by giving silly corners and free kicks away.
That's the first corner of the game. It's gone to Salford City as the ball was sent downfield, and Joe Lewis got caught underneath the header. He could quite easily have just backpedaled a couple of steps and taken down on his chest. Didn't get a goal.
Communication, Dance.
Yeah.
There's nobody around him whatsoever. It's where you need your goalkeeper or one of your centre-halves just to say, let it bounce, leave it, and let it go out for a goal kick.
So a corner where the family stand meets the Cheadle in. Mallon drills it in right-footed into the near post. Paddy Madden won the header for Stockport in the defensive role, and it's hooked out of play by Lemony Evans for another throw to Salford City down the left-hand side. Don't forget, Bradford and Carlisle also at 1-0. Bradford take a 1-0 lead to Brunton Park this afternoon. Mark Wilson and the former Barnsley and Oldham midfielder Neil Redfern will be your commentary team. That game is exclusive to the Talksport app at 3 o'clock, whilst here on Talksport 2 we bring you Bournemouth Manchester United from the Premier League with Nigel Adley alongside former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. Down the left-hand side comes Stockport County. Looking again for Isaac Olafe. It was Ryan Rydell looking for him this time, but Salford are plugging most of the gaps, it seems to me, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got the tactics right so far. If you've got the tools out there, and I'm talking about Matt Smith, you've got to use them. That physicality that they've got, I do believe that something that they need to look at. I mean,
he's got a bash on the nose, actually. He's going towards this near touchline. We're only about I don't know, 20 feet up from where he's getting treatment, and he's had a right old bash on the bridge of the nose. Like Madden, he's vastly experienced, over 500 club appearances for Matt Smith. And then Elliot Watt has just been caught by Callum Camps and is writhing around. And Callum Camps is going to be spoken to by Ben Toner. We've already had one yellow card for a Stockport player. And I think this is going to be a quiet word from Ben Toner, who's hidden behind the post on the halfway line. Maybe it will be a yellow card. Meanwhile, Elliot Watt's getting some treatment, and it's getting a bit tetchy out there at 0-0, Mickey Gray.
Well, it's fiery, no question of that. The challenges are going in. This time Callum Camps, I think the problem with it, he has got a yellow card as well, but the problem was, Dan, his foot was so high. I think he actually did make a little bit of contact there, and Elliot Watt obviously felt the force of the challenge. He's rolling around on the ground, isn't he? I think he's going to be okay, because he cleared his lines and there was contact with the ball, so it takes the pressure away from the challenge initially. But Callum Camps now has got to be very careful. I think that just boils down to a little bit of frustration. Horsfall has got himself in the book with a yellow card. Now Callum Camps, and I think because of the way they've started the game, they're searching for a little bit of form, dance. It's been all Salford. The better opportunities have been there for the away side. And I think Stockport themselves have just got to calm themselves a little bit.
Another drinks break. Well, for the players at least, not for us. As Elliot Watt gets treatment, he's just been led off to this near side, getting a few boos from the Stockport fans beneath us in this main stand. And we're about to restart play as we approach the half-hour mark on Talksport 2. Salford still holding that slender 1-0 advantage from the first leg. No goals here at Edgeley Park in bright, sunny, spring, dare I say, early summer weather here in Greater Manchester.
Beautiful.
Mickey wants to be playing golf. No, he doesn't. He's happy to be here, but he's looking at that playing surface out there and thinking, oh yeah, that reminds me of the 18th.
Plenty time for golf, dance. Definitely want to be here. I was having a look at the referee, Ben Toner, before the game. Actually, I don't normally do this, but 119 yellow cards, 4 red cards.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
He's
well, 121
happy,
now.
I think would be the. Is that the sort of
yes,
correct phrase? He likes a card. He's already issued 2 this afternoon of the yellow variety to 2 Stockport players, as you just heard. Camps yellow carded, and Horsfall is on the ball now, heads the ball up and into the Salford half. Madden tries to bring the ball down just by the centre circle. He found Wright, and Wright hooks the ball out to this left-hand side. It's brought down neatly by Rydell, almost at the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Swings the ball into the box. Madden with the header, skims off his head. He's offside anyway. The flag's gone up against him, but the referee will just give a goal kick. But a lovely swirling cross from Ryan Rydell, and Madden just watched the ball skim off his forehead and went well wide of the post. It's a goal kick on the half hour to Salford City. 0-0 the score on the day. 1-0 aggregate to the Ammies.
And again, it's a super ball, isn't it, from this left-hand side, and this time Paddy Madden did get on the end of it. He wasn't really to know he was in an offside position because he's looking at the ball, but that's the type of threat that the forward player can bring if you give him the time and space and the quality.
McKelney works the ball back to Ibu Toure, and now Mariappa fires it into the feet of Cairns, who has to trap the ball with his weaker right foot and then clear with his left. Shepherd, the right back, gets dispossessed. Alafe on this near side. Oh, that's a great challenge from Callum Hendry, and Salford win the ball back, and it's flicked on by Matt Smith, but it's well away from McKelney, who was the only player up with him in a red shirt. Ball's back with Stockport, and Salford have looked the more composed of the 2 teams here.
Yeah, they certainly have. Without a doubt, they've started the game a lot better. I mean, that ball that was just played into Matt Smith a few seconds ago, there's not really much he could have done with it apart from flick it on. It was fired into him, wasn't it? But those willing runners from Salford either side.
Now one back to Stockport by Lemon Evans, just making a good run down the left-hand side, fed by Camps. Checks onto his right foot, Evans will roll it back to Chris Hussey. First time ball swirled into the far post. Noyle heads it down. Can Lemon Evans keep it in play at the far post? He can't. Ends up being a goal kick, but that's a little better from Stockport County. 0-0.
It is, Dance. I mean, I think they have to use the right-hand side a little bit more. They've got to try and switch the play a little bit. Everything from Stockport that's scored in the game is coming down this left. Well, it becomes predictable at times because they know that the ball's going to come into the area. Yes, you've got Madden, you've got Alofe, and this time Noyle But other than that, I think on that right-hand side, they've got to be a lot stronger. Make 2v1s, get the ball into the box, have Salford guessing a little bit, because at the minute, it's Stockport who are doing all the guessing because Salford have been so strong in the forward positions.
0-0 on Talksport 2 in the EFL playoffs. We are your home of the EFL playoffs. We brought you some extraordinary action this week, not least what happened at Hillsborough on Thursday evening. Sheffield Wednesday Barnsley is the League One playoff final, and now a yellow card for Isaac Olafe. I think when he gets to his feet, he slid in on Adrian Mariappa. Olafe stayed down. He's come off word from having made the challenge, but when he gets to his feet, he'll be the third Stockport player to be booked at 0-0.
Well, 32 minutes into the game, Dan, 3 yellow cards. Olafe, I think he was a little bit harsh there. He did track back, he tried to help out his team. He actually made a little bit of contact with the ball, but he is going to get that yellow card. That's quite worrying, isn't it? You centre half, you centre midfield player, and you centre forward, all on yellow cards very early on in the game.
Olafe limps away from having received the yellow card from the referee, and Salford City have a free kick just over the halfway line to the left of centre at 0-0. 12 minutes to half time on Talksport 2. They're attacking the Cheadle end to our right hand side, where a statue to the late great Danny Bergara was unveiled at their last home game here against Hartlepool, when automatic promotion was still a slight possibility. Free kick is very comfortable for Hinchliffe to collect, the Stockport keeper, under no pressure from either Hendry or Smith, the two tall men at the top of the pitch for Salford, although Hendry plays in this slightly deeper number 10 role, wearing the number 9 shirt. A very good foil indeed for Matt Smith. Now it's Stevie Mallon for Salford, looking for the run of Hendry down the left hand side. He's taken out Fraser Horsfall with him, clips the ball in field. McElney gave the ball away. Carl Noyle has it, the right wing back for Stockport, floats it downfield. Olafe can't win the header. It's dealt with well by Vassell. Drops in the centre circle. Who's going to get there first? It's won by Conor McElney for Salford. Now back with Liam Shepherd, the right back. Vassell gives it back to Liam Shepherd, midway point of his own half, gets his head up and drives the ball in field, looking for Matt Smith, and he's barged out of the way by Horsfall. A free kick, and Horsfall's got to be careful. As we mentioned, he's one of those on a yellow. Wasn't a cynical challenge, but too physical from the referee's point of view. Salford free kick, 0-0.
And it's the physicality, isn't it? He just cannot handle Matt Smith, which is why I keep saying that he needs help. They're making runs to try and win the ball on Smith, and they're all coming from behind him. Smith's going to win that all day long. He doesn't even have to leap. He just makes himself big. Centre-halves behind him are trying to leap over the top of them, giving silly fouls away. And the quality that Salford have got, all they have to do is aim for Smith. You've got midfield players who are just going to run into that box. They seem to be running away from centre-halves, where there's no cohesion between the three of them at the moment, and that's a big problem.
Free kick for Salford is almost dead centre in the Stockport half of the field to our right. Mallon's standing over it. He can go left or right here. He's got options either corner of the box. He's going to go for goal from distance, straight down the throat of Hinchliffe. It bobbled twice in front of him, and a fairly comfortable save for Hinchliffe, who boots it downfield, collected on halfway by Olafe with his back to play. Gives it back to Hussey, who chips it downfield, but it won't find Rydell. It's won back by Salford. Mallon finds Callum Hendry. Bolton making tracks down this near side, the right. He's got Hussey backpedaling as he moves into the penalty area. Steps inside him, but then across came Akio right to clear. Again, Olafe with his back to play, holds it up just inside his own half. Neatly done by Isaac Olafe. And then Rydell looks for a diagonal ball to pick out Paddy Madden. Lets the ball run across his body. Ibu Toure takes charge of the situation for Salford and whacks it onto the roof of that family stand opposite us. We've got, 8 minutes to the break on Talksport 2. In the EFL playoffs, it's still 0-0 here at Edgeley Park between Stockport and Salford, meaning Salford still 1-0 up on aggregate. Here's Mickey Gray.
And work for Dave Chandler to do in the second half. If he can get to half-time at 0-0, the way certainly the first half has gone, whether it's going to be a tactical change, but I just think they're going a little bit too direct. They've got very good midfield players in there. I think they have to use them a little bit more, and as I mentioned earlier, Dance, that right-hand side have got to turn up to this game.
Has that corner been won? No, a goal kick. Carnell will turn around and fired it goalwards. Well, Stockport fans will remember many years ago they had their own menace up front in the sort of Matt Smith guys. I'm sure you'll remember Kevin Francis. 6'7". Stockport County, went to Birmingham City in the end. He now works as a Canadian mounted policeman.
Seriously?
At 6'7". How tall's the horse got to be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise he's scraping his feet on the ground.
They've actually had some top players who play for Stockport County over the years.
Ball drops at the edge of the area. Salford trying to break through with Callum Hendry, but Joe Lewis stuck to his task well, kept his eye on the ball and cleared it. And then Lemony Evans with a fairly aimless ball downfield, but it's still broken for Stockport. Olafe down the right wing. He's got Lemony Evans inside, so too Callum Camps, who picks it up, edge of the D, rolls it to the left-hand corner of the box for Rydell, gives it back to Camps, shaping for a right-footed shot, and he curls it way over the crossbar for a Stockport goal kick. 0-0 still the score here at Edgeley Park with 7.5 to half-time on your home of the EFL playoffs, Talksport 2.
Well, it's a great opportunity there again, isn't it? Olafe's pass is a little bit behind Callum Camps, but he's still got so much time. Just a picky spot, but he's leaning back, he gets his shot away, and it just goes sky high over the top of the cross. No real threat whatsoever. And that's been a bit of a sums up Stockport's first half, really.
A bit more time wasting from Cairns, who had two centre-halves with him, Mariappa and Vassell, waited until the last possible moment, and they said, now get downfield. And the Stockport fans to our left, not a fan of that at all. The goal kick downfield, the retreat for Stockport by Chris Hussey. First time ball down the left-hand side, but it drifts away from Madden and out of play for a Salford throw on this near side at Edgeley Park.
I think it's Stockport who should be doing the time wasting in this first half. That's the way that they played, and it seems to be Salford, doesn't it? You're right, but it's a lot of time wasting from throw-ins and goal kicks from the goalkeeper, Alex Cairns.
Fraser Horsfall gives his left wing back Ryan Rydell a bit of a tatering after winning a header. I think he felt that Rydell should have gone for it, or should have been in a better position as the throw came in. Rydell does get a header clear this time for Stockport, drops on halfway. Callum Camps down this near side the left, scampers away for Stockport, gets to level with the edge of the area, tried to feed a cross into the box, but Shepherd and Vassell for Salford between them won the ball back for the away side, and then Vassell clips the ball up to halfway, but Stockport won it back with Joe Lewis, but that's another aimless ball out to the left-hand side, playing into out Joe Lewis, but merely found the touchline and the throw for Salford City at 0-0.
And that's where you have to play. Joe Lewis, that ball's come to him, there's no pressure on him whatsoever, he's just trying to get on with things, but he's got so many options in front of him in midfield. His full-back's outside with Noyle on the right-hand side, but they're just rushing things a little bit too much, and it's been scrappy from the home side.
Mariappa clears for Salford up to halfway. Horsfall with a strong header for Stockport. Then it just goes way into the sunny afternoon sky from Liam Shepherd's clearance. Smith and Horsfall go to ground. This time, Horsfall gets the decision. Fans are on their feet around us in this stand, because Fraser Horsfall has finally won a decision in the 50-50 challenge with Matt Smith.
Yeah, listen to those cheers. I mean, take nothing away.
You can't beat the sarcasm of football.
No, absolutely not, Dance. But again, I think it's basically because Matt Smith is on the ground and he's holding on to the ball in between his feet.
Diagonal ball from Chris Hussey up to the edge of the Salford area, hooked away by Toure, only as far as Joe Lewis. Hussey there again, just out of the halfway line. Another diagonal ball coming in from him, looking for Lemony Evans maybe to rise on the far right hand side of the box, and then Carl Noyle pushed into McElney right in front of the referee's nose. Free kick to Salford, and the Ammies can clear their lines once again. We're getting towards half time here on Talksport 2. It is Stockport 0, Salford 0, 1-0 on aggregate to Salford.
You're always going to be given that foul. McElney, he's heading back towards his own goal. Once you feel that contact from Kyle Noyle, the referee's obviously going to blow his whistle, and it's that respite again, isn't that little breather for Salford. They can just calm themselves, get themselves back into position, then start to put pressure on the Stockport back line yet again.
Lovely day here in Stockport. A bit downwindles had his toes in the sand on Boscombe Beach this morning before getting to the Vitality. He's there this afternoon to continue EFL, game day live with game day exclusive from the Premier League at 3 p.m. Bournemouth against Manchester United is our commentary offering for you. Straight after this game, and another free kick to Stockport County inside their own half, and more delight for the home spectators that a decision has gone their way. They're leaving referee Ben Toner in no doubt as to which way they think the direction of travel is in terms of decisions.
Yeah, well, another opportunity to fire that ball just to the edge of the 18-yard area of Salford.
Hussey actually plays the ball square to Kyle Noyle on the halfway line, drifts out to the right-hand side. Lemonhay Evans ahead of him, but he plays a diagonal ball into the box, headed out strongly by Hendry, and it drops for Chris Hussey at the edge of the centre circle, just runs past Stevie Mallon, and then works the ball out to the near touchline to the left and right. Good ball into the box, headed up in the air by Vassell. Where's that going to drop? Edge of the area. Callum Hendry heads clear for Salford. Nodded back towards the edge of the box by Noyle. Stockport trying to win the ball back. Hendry again gets a foot in for Salford. And then Hussey volleys it downfield. Lemonhay Evans heads it infield. Can Horsfall find a teammate? He can. Joe Lewis inside left position for Stockport. Finds Rydell. He has to guide the ball back 10 yards or so for Hussey. Hussey, short pass for Akil Wright. Right in the centre of the half. Turns away from Elliot Watt and finds Hussey again. Now Rydell for Stockport. Cross into the box, into the near post. Oh, it just drifted away from the run of Joe Lewis, who is furthest forward. That's as close as we've come to a genuine Stockport County chance, and we've got a minute to go to half-time, 0-0.
Well, Ryan Rydell scratching his head over on this left-hand side. He just put two fantastic balls into the box, one with his right foot and then the next one with his left foot. Yeah, he scuffed towards the goalkeeper a little bit, but he's asking his teammates and his forward players, is there any chance of anybody getting on the end of one of my crosses today, please?
Horsfall and Wright win the ball back as McKelney tried to blast through the centre of the field for Salford. Now Olafe's in behind. The keeper stayed at home for the first time in the afternoon and then came out, Alex Cairns, for Salford and claimed the ball when it looked for a moment like he was backpedaling, and that would have allowed Olafe to get a shot in on goal as suddenly Stockport sprang the offside trap. 0-0.
If you've got the strength and the pace up front like Olafe's got for Stockport County, keep playing that ball in behind. Goalkeeper Alex Cairns very fortunate. The second bounce just a little skid away from him and went into the goalkeeper's hands, but that seems to be the ball that Stockport need to use a lot more, certainly in the second half.
We're into 5 minutes of minimum added time at the end of this first half on Talksport 2. Stockport County 0, Salford City 0. A scoreline that takes Salford through to the League 2 playoff final with a 1-0 aggregate score. That goal that Matt Smith scored at the Peninsula in the first leg, still separating the sides. Noyle for Stockport, the right wing back, flicks the ball down the right hand side. Evans is fouled and wins a free kick. Claim by McKelney that he won the ball. He's doing the internationally recognised symbol for I won the ball, ref. But Ben Toner's not interested. It's a free kick to the Hatters out on the far side of the field, and Evans has stayed down, lying right in front of the advertising hoardings in that family stand.
Dance, the 3 yellow cards that we've seen, that deserved a yellow card if that's the way that the referee Ben Toner is going to referee this football match. Stephen Mallon, I think it is, over on that left hand side, makes that challenge on Lemonhay Evans. You can see the player's still down on the ground now. He had the chance to get away from him. It was a 1v1 situation, cynical foul just to slow things down. How can the away side get away with a foul and no yellow card in that situation from the 3 that we've already seen in the game?
Consistency always the watchword. That's what we want. It's a VAR free zone, of course, the EFL, which is to be celebrated in my opinion. Swung in by Hussey, this free kick for Stockport, only half clear by Salford. He might drop 25 yards out on a Stockport boot. It's actually well retrieved by Callum Camps to get it back to the halfway line under pressure from Bolton. Diagonal ball headed away by Mariappa. Stockport trying to force the issue as we are in added time at the end of the first half. Ryan Rydell will pick it up for the home side, midway point of the half, tries to swing a crossing, deflects in the air. Keeper looked awkward. He's palmed it behind for a corner kick under pressure from Paddy Madden. And Alex Cairns, the ball bounced in front of him and Madden. It went over the head of Madden. Up went the arms of Alex Cairns, but just butterfingers really slipped through his hands and behind for Stockport's first corner of the game in stoppage time at the end of the first half, 0-0.
Well, Alex Cairns, Salford goalkeeper, just didn't look comfortable at all there, albeit the ball's bouncing in front of him, but as Paddy Manning he basically shielded the goalkeeper and he had to come over the top of him to make that challenge. Pretty much got it completely wrong. It was a great opportunity for Stockport.
Right-footed in-swinging corner to come for Stockport at the railway end. Deep to the far post, it's headed out by Matt Smith. Comes out to Connor Evans. Up against Mallon down the right-hand side. Right-hand corner of the box. Plays the ball into the feet of Wright. Wright now being watched by Shepherd. Wright, can he dig the cross in? He's won another corner for Stockport. This time on the right-hand side. At 0-0, and Chris Hussey's going across to take it.
Well, the home side is certainly finishing the first half strong, working the ball really well down that right hand side, putting pressure on this back line of Salford City. This would be the perfect time, wouldn't it, to get yourself a lead.
In swinging corner to come then from Hussey. Raises his right arm, drills it in under the crossbar. Off the bar from Madden. He claims it's gone in, but the referee's watch has not told him so. It stayed out. Paddy Madden heading against the crossbar. Hussey puts the ball back into the 18-yard box as Stockport try and keep the pressure on. Rydell heads it towards the area. Down goes Horsfall under pressure. No foul given by the referee. As close as we've come to a goal that's come from the head of Paddy Madden, smacking against the crossbar. As we go into the last minute of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half, 0-0. Ball goes into the edge of the box again for Stockport from Rydell. Headed away by Mariappa. Toure kept it in play on the far side. No, he didn't actually. It went out of play, screwed off the outside of his left boot and out for a throw. I bet they wish they had a Dave Challoner long throw out there for Stockport.
Oh, Dance, yeah, absolutely. But what an opportunity that was. Fantastic corner. Comes into the area and Paddy Madden, he's just got to guide it into the goal. He's celebrating, isn't he? He thinks it bounced down behind the line. I don't think it did.
Joe Lewis with the long throw. Flicked on and behind by Toure. Another corner. A third corner in quick succession to Stockport at the end of the half. They are asking all the questions at the end of this first period, even if it is 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Hussey will be trying to put exactly the same ball into the same area. Madden getting away from his marker. Must have been inches.
Hussey again drills it under the crossbar, claimed at his near post by Cairns. With a couple of players in front of him, did well there, and the referee will blow his whistle for half-time. Cheers from the Stockport fans, from the Salford fans, should I say, opposite us in the family stand. And after a few boos, a bit of encouragement from the home support for Stockport for their players who were out-battled for the most part in the first period by Salford City, but certainly towards the end of the half showed a bit more bite and aggression, and they've had the best chance of the late stages of this first half, where Hussey's corner headed onto the underside of the crossbar by the returning Paddy Madden, but it stayed out. At the other end, Callum Hendry probably had Salford's best chance, a free header from Toure's pinpoint left wing cross, but it was straight at Ben Hinchliffe, the Stockport keeper. But as things stand, Salford are going to Wembley for the League 2 playoff final. Work to do for Dave Challoner and Stockport. At the break, it is Stockport 0, Salford 0, still 1-0 on aggregate to the Ammies. There's certainly no changes for Stockport County from their first half, so they'll still be Hinchliffe in goal, Lewis, Horsfall, Hussey at the back, Noyle, Wright, Camps, Lemony Evans and Rydell across midfield, and Olafe and Madden up front. And no changes for Stockport either. It'll be Cairns in goal, Shepherd, Vassell, Mariappa, Toure at the back, Watt, Mallon in midfield, Bolton, Hendry, McElney and Smith in attack. Salford, who scored 72 goals in 46 league games this season, the joint highest in League 2 with Mansfield Town, and only Northampton had a better away record than Salford this season. Stockport, though, liked a clean sheet, kept 22 of them, and only Orient did better in League 2 in that particular statistic with 24. And Hinchliffe had some saves to make in the first half, most of them regulation, Mickey, but nevertheless, you've got to keep him out.
No, absolutely, yeah. He was just in the right place at the right time, wasn't he? I think Salford could have done a lot better with a couple of opportunities, but still work to be done in this second half.
And we're underway with Stockport in their blue shirts and socks and white shorts, kicking from left to right towards the Cheadle end. As we look, we're about 25-30 rows back in the main stand, the Danny Bergara stand here at Edgeley Park. To our left is the Vitality Railway end. That's the end that Salford in their red shirts, white shorts and socks will be attacking in this second half. And the ball's immediately played over the top, and in behind is Luke Bolton, and he's blocked behind by Ben Hinchliffe. Again, we waited for an offside flag that never came. A one-on-one for Luke Bolton, but Ben Hinchliffe, the Stockport keeper, keeps it at 0-0 brilliantly.
Outstanding save. I was just waiting for that flag dance, exactly the same as you, to go up, because it looked like Luke Bolton, for all, was in an offside position. Great play again from McElhenney on this left-hand side. Picked the ball up, that little reverse pass. They were still in the dressing room, Stockport, at half-time, weren't they? That was a great start to the second half from Salford.
And it is a corner to Salford at that railway end to our left. Stevie Mallon with a right-footed in-swinger. And in fact, he plays it along the deck to Elliot Watt, gets it back on this near side, gets to level with the edge of the area, then spins away, not once but twice from Levandy Evans. Lovely skill from Mallon into the near post. Purcell tries to get the shot on goal. It's only half cleared. Purcell again tries to swing a boot at it, and then out to the edge of the area. And McElhenney with the finals drive again straight to Hinchliffe, making the save a lot easier than it should have been. 0-0.
Well, I don't know what's happening with this back line of Stockport County, because they're all over the place. They're at 6s and 7s. They look really shaky. Salford have come out in the second half. They've really been absolutely fantastic, I have to say. Two great opportunities, this time falling to McElhenney on this left-hand side. But when he's in the box there, where's the marking? They can't clear the lines. They try to pass the ball out from the back, Stockport. It doesn't work for them. McElhenney there, just with his swing of his right foot. I mean, if it's just either side of Hinchliffe in that Stockport goal, it's a 2-goal deficit, and there's no coming back from that.
Throwing down the left-hand side for Stockport, down the far side, in front of the family stand. Tucked infield for Akil Wright, just ahead of the centre circle. He plays a square ball to find Joe Lewis, keeps it in play, and plays a neat ball down the right-hand side of the box. Lemonade Evans trying to get there first, but across comes Adrian Mariappa, using all his experience to put the ball out of play for a Stockport throw. 0-0.
Well, better from Stockport, trying to get in behind the back line of Salford. Lemonade Evans, nice little run there, just ball got away from him a little bit, but better positions to try and get that ball into the box.
Long throw coming in from Joe Lewis into around the 6-yard line, headed up in the air by Matt Smith, defending for Salford, drops around the 6-yard box. Salford will get it half clear. Callum Hendry brings the ball down on his chest and then fires it downfield, but nobody on the halfway line for Salford, so easy for Chris Hussey to bring the ball down for Stockport, size up his options and fire a ball out to this near side, brilliantly brought down by Kyle Noyle. And he's got Ibra Toure backpedaling, plays the ball to the back post. Madden was there, but again the offside flag goes up against the Stockport player, and it is Madden this time, who just drifted into an offside position. And it's a free kick to Salford inside their own 18-yard box. 3 gone in the second half on Talksport 2. It's 0-0.
Well, that's a position where Paddy Madden shouldn't find himself in an offside position, because it's great play down the right-hand side again from Noyle. Lovely little ball into the area, and Paddy Madden's just waiting at the back stick. Got to know that centre-halves are alongside you. Just play on his shoulder. You've got the leap on him.
Now Alafe for Stockport, trying to outpace Toure, brings him down. I think this could be a yellow card for a Salford player, and it is. After 3 yellow cards in the first half for Stockport players, Toure hacks down Alafe as he was making tracks down the right-hand side of midfield towards the edge of the area. It's a free kick for Stockport County at the Cheadle end, and a yellow card for Ibra Toure. 0-0.
It doesn't get any more blatant than that from Ibra Toure. Alope got the better of him. He said they have to use his pace a little bit more in this second half, because if he gets him behind, he can be the threat for Stockport County.
Noyle and Hussey, the 2 players standing over this free kick, almost at the right-hand corner of the penalty area. All the other players in the box massed around the penalty spot in both blue and red. Although Lemonade Evans and Camps are just lurking at the edge of the area in case any bits and pieces come their way. Will it be a right or left-footed delivery? Noyle or Hussey for Stockport. And the referee just spotting some pushing and shoving. Joe Lewis and Theo Vassell, he's chatting to. Wants a word with Lewis, doesn't think he wants to speak to him, but he does. Wants a word with both of them. They're both sent away back into that mass of players around the penalty spot, and now comes the free kick. Hussey runs over the ball. Noyle delivers it. Headed goal as he might drop on the 6-yard line. Vassell clears it well. Could so easily have dropped for a blue shirt right in front of goal there, but Salford clear their lines only temporarily. Connor Lemony Evans on this near side, the Stockport right, level with the area. Nicks the ball in field, looking for right, but it's intercepted by Elliot Watt, and Hendry looks to release Luke Bolton for Salford down the right-hand side. He has to track all the way out to the far right-hand touchline to keep the ball in play, Bolton. He's got Shepherd on the overlap, steaming down the right-hand side, fires the ball into the box. Oh, a poor touch at the near post by Joe Lewis, but he had Fraser Horsfall behind him for Stockport to clear his lines. 5 gone in the second half, 0-0. Stockport still 1-0, Salford rather, still 1-0 up on aggregate.
Love to see that. Fantastic play from Liam Shepherd. He was absolutely miles away from the play. Luke Bolton, very clever, just held on to the ball, waited for the full-back to overlap him, and it nearly paid off. Lovely little low cross into the near post there. Horsfall had to get it right to clear his line.
Shepherd again has it on the right-hand side. There is absolutely no shade on this Edgeley Park pitch this afternoon. The bright sunshine still very much evident in Greater Manchester, and there's no hiding place from it out on that playing surface. Ball goes out of play for a Stockport throw. We'll be getting team news in the next quarter of an hour or so from the 2 games we have for you this afternoon on the app. We'll be off to Brunton Park for the other League 2 playoff semi-final second leg. Carlisle against Bradford. Bradford 1-0 up. Mark Wilson will bring us the team news there. And for the Talksport 2 Premier League commentary, Nigel Adderley at the Vitality will bring you team news at 2 p.m. for Bournemouth against Manchester United. Ball's back with Alex Cairns, the Salford keeper, bolts the ball out to Mariappa. Toure being closed down immediately by Noyle. High press from Stockport. Mariappa forced to clear first time downfield, and Joe Lewis steps in and heads the ball away under pressure from Conor McKelney, and out for a throw to Salford City. The final is Sunday the 28th of May, the final day of the Premier League season as well, that is, but the final will be on Talksport 2 for the League 2 final. Wembley Stadium, 1:30 kickoff, and Nigel Adderley will be your commentator that afternoon for whoever gets there.
What a weekend of football that's going to be, Dance.
Absolutely.
Playoff finals right throughout the weekends.
Turns of the WSL, end of the Premier League.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Lots to get our teeth into. And then before long, Manchester City will be in a Champions League final, and West Ham in a Europa Conference League final. Now the ball by break for Lemony Evans through the centre of the field. Madden volleys for goal from 30 yards out, gets it wildly wrong. Didn't half catch it with plenty of venom, but no direction at all, and it's a goal kick to Salford City, 0-0.
I think if that had found the back of the net, he'd have had his own statue outside the ground, Dance, wouldn't he? But why not? Look, Paddy Madden, it fell on a plate for him, didn't it, on the volley. If you connect with it right, it causes all kinds of problems. He was in the right place. Look, 20-25 yards out. Sometimes you do catch them right, but on this occasion, unfortunately for Madden, he did not.
EFL Game Day Live. You're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL playoffs. Stockport keeper Ben Hinchliffe has to come racing out of his area now. Madden went down, and he was brought down by Mariappa as he tried to chase through the middle, but he's offside. So rather than it being a free kick to Stockport for a foul, it's a free kick to Salford, as Madden once again is caught offside, Mickey Gray.
I'm not too sure. As that ball got played up front, I thought Madden was onside, and I think that's a little bit of a let-off for Adrian Mariappa, because he was caught wrong side. Madden got in front of him, and then he was shoved down to the ground, and you can hear the Stockport supporters were going absolutely crazy, but the ref had a big decision to make there if it was given onside.
We don't have the benefit of any replays here in the commentary box. There are no monitors for us to check decisions as they happen.
Still haven't sorted this out, Dance, have these Stockport.
The back three.
It's Smith. Look, you have to put someone in front of him. He's been the threat in both 18-yard boxes, let's be honest with you. Defensively, he's been fantastic, but every ball that goes up to him, I can't for the life of me think why you're not putting a midfield player in front just to stop him for that leap, just to get his flick-ons.
0-0, 10 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport 2, so Salford still holding that 1 goal advantage from the first leg. They have a throw on this near side, the left, as they attack the railway end. And Mariappa, being closed down by 2 Stockport attackers, works the ball back to his keeper Cairns outside the box. Left-footed clearance downfield. Lewis has time to bring it down, but in bringing it down, he allowed Stevie Mallon to just move in between him and the ball and let the ball trickle out of play for a throw-in. 0-0.
Lewis there, I mean, first time he can see 2 Salford players are closing him down. Is that just an opportunity as a centre-half just to get your laces through it, clear your lines, take a bit of a breather? Now on the other side of it now, it's Salford who have the possession.
Taking their time over the throw-in. Brentford have equalised at Spurs over on Talksport, incidentally. Brian and Burmo makes it Tottenham 1, Brentford 1. Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce, your commentary team on Talksport. Have you got the app? Well, if you have, you can swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2 and our commentaries that we bring you throughout the afternoon, including that commentary on the app between Bradford and Carlisle at Brunton Park at 3 p.m. Now, Theo Vassell's gone down, the Salford centre-half, after a fairly robust challenge on this near side. And he's going to be allowed to get up. He doesn't need treatment. The referee said no, stay put, to the physios who are stood right at the edge of the technical area. I remember once I saw a player injured and the physio ran on and pulled his hamstring while he was dashing out to treat him. You couldn't feel for the bloke.
Was it?
No. Now here's Joe Lewis for Stockport, swinging the ball into the area. Headed out only as far as the right-hand corner of the area, Noyle. Lewis calling for it on the overlap. Noyle's going for the byline himself. Pulled it back to the near post, but Elliot Watt will clear his lines for Salford. Now, Matt Smith up against Horsfall. Again, great strength from Smith. He's brought down, free kick. And I'll remind you that Horsfall is on a yellow card that he picked up early in the first half for a challenge on Matt Smith. That wasn't really a yellow card issuing challenge, but on the tossing up procedure, he better be careful, Mickey Gray.
He's got to be careful, as we touched earlier on. Ben Toner, he's given a lot of yellow cards out and 4 red cards this season, and it's a tightrope, isn't it, at the moment, when you look at the players who have already found themselves in the book. They've got to be careful. You can't go through those initial challenges that go through your head. You've got to pull back sometimes. But Matt Smith, look, you talk about using your tools as a player, Dance. He's not the quickest in the world, we know that. He's a target man. He just peels off in between full-backs and centre-halves, and he's doing it so well today. His hold-up play's been very clever. Deservedly coming over for a little bit of a respite, just to have a little bit of a drink. He's worked his socks off, but their tactics have been absolutely spot on today.
There's no play at the minute, I should tell you, because Akil Wright, the Stockport number 4, is getting some treatment. Matt Smith coming to get that drink of water. Made his professional debut for Oldham Athletic back in 2011. Matt Smith joined Salford from Millwall, so went from Championship to League 2, and he was always going to get goals at this level. 10 that he has to his name this season.
I think I was still playing on.
No, well, let's not go too far, Nick.
I finished a year early, I think.
See, you're trying to kid us all. Right, it's going to be okay. We'll be back on in a second. You're listening to Stockport 0, Salford 0 in the EFL League 2 playoff semi-final, live on Talksport 2 with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Mickey Gray and Ian Dancer with you on this sunny Saturday afternoon in Stockport. Ryan Crowsdale's going to be on in a minute as Stockport's first change of the afternoon. It might be for Wright in that midfield position if he can't run off the injury that he sustained. Meantime, Salford coming forward with Elliot Watt, looking early in the box for McKelney, went down wanting a penalty, runs to the referee. Carl Noyle was the man at his back, but the referee says no penalty, and instead, as we approach the hour mark, it's a Stockport goal kick, 0-0.
Well, is it a good job, Dance, that we haven't got VAR? Salford are probably not thinking that themselves right now, because there was contact there. Again from McElhenney, he just runs into the box. Did a brilliant ball into the box, I have to say. And Kyle Noyle, Stockport County defender, trying everything to get back on side. Just contact there in the box, and you can hear The Salford supporters going crazy for that penalty.
Now McKelney on the halfway line trying to outpace Joe Lewis. Lewis puts a foot in, brought down by Callum Camps, lobbing it over the top, trying to get Olafe in behind Mariappa, but Mariappa with a smart header watched the ball all the way and nodded it back to his keeper. 0-0, and it's going to be a triple change, I think, for Stockport County. Certainly Ryan Crosdale, we mentioned, is coming on, but also Anthony Sarcevic is going to be on. He's not played for over a month since a 4-0 win here against Newport County. And Will Collar is coming on as well. So the two players brought back to the bench by Dave Challoner in Collar and Sarcevic are coming on. So too is Crosdale. The players going off. Lewis is one. And the thunderous applause for these three substitutions. Gone down well with the locals here, bringing these three guys on.
Just wondered, Dan, if this is going to be a change in system as well.
Lemonade Evans going off to allow Collar to come on. And as for Sarcevic, he's coming on for Callum Camps. And we can hear the roar for Sarcevic alone, how much the Stockport fans are happy to see him back out on the field for Stockport County. So a triple change made just after the hour mark, and Stockport now have a free kick at 0-0 out on the left-hand side, about 25 yards inside Salford territory. Hussey to take it, left-footed, swinging it to the far post. Madden tries to hook it back across the face of goal. It lands around the penalty spot. Drive comes in from Sarcevic, having just come on. Still not cleared. Volley goes by Crosdale, and it's blocked. And out of play on this near side for a throw. Volley levels up a bit.
They've got the reaction of the three substitutes. Great ball into the area, keeping things alive.
Here's Will Collar trying to backheel the ball against McKelney and win a throw at least. McKelney clears it, but Stockport are trying to hem Salford in here. We played 62 minutes, but a foul throw, was it? Oh dear, don't see that very often. No. 0-0 it stays on the day, 1-0 on aggregate to Salford. We've been to Wembley before in a Papa John's Trophy final, won by Richie Wellens. We brought it to you live during those lockdown days on Talksport, and there's a safety steward just making tracks down to our right hand side. There could be a bit of consternation going on to our right, which is where the director's box is. Can't see any more than the steward just going across to make peace with a couple of supporters. I don't think there's anything too drastic that's happening down there, but to our right is where some of the class of 92 are sat, watching their Salford side, trying to hang on to this 1-0 aggregate lead. But here come Stockport. They've won a corner. Good work by Rydell down the left-hand side. Stockport fans with a bit of belief now, but it is still 0-0.
Yeah, this is what the home side have needed. Bit of sustained pressure. Certainly what they've got now, and you can hear the crowd are now getting involved in the game a lot more.
Going to be a right-footed in-swinger from Kyle Noyle, from where the Cheadle end meets the family stand on the far side, right under the crossbar. Matt Smith heads it clear for Salford, only as far as Hussey, heads it back out to Noyle on that far left-hand side. Rolls Callum Hendry, gets to the byline, checks onto his right foot, puts the ball across the face of goal, headed straight at the keeper. Massive chance for Olafe, but Cairns held onto it for Salford right on his goal line, and it stays 0-0. That's as good a chance as Stockport have had in this second period on Talksport 2.
Absolutely, really good opportunity there. Talked about that sustained pressure. He just kept the ball alive as that ball come back into the box there from Doyle. Great opportunity, just flicks it in towards the 6-yard box, which needed to get a little bit more power on the header. Best spell of play for Stockport, no question in the game.
Now Callum Hendry, lovely skill in the middle of the Stockport half, but he tried to beat one too many Stockport players in the end, and the home side have it back. Will Collar out on the left wing, plays an early ball down the left-hand side that's ahead of both Olafe and Madden, and will just drift through to Alex Cairns. Now Lascelles has gone down off the ball after being challenged by Olafe. And Stockport players and Salford players going to the referee and say, what's going on there? Sort it out. What did you see, Mickey?
There's another player. I mean, he just got his body in the way of him, to be honest with you. Vassell, he was obviously fell to ground there. There was a bit of contact, and he kind of just tried to shove him out of the way, but I think Vassell just made a little bit too much of it, which is why the referee just basically said to the two players, look, let's just get on with it. You know, the game's been physical. I'm trying to let it flow as much as I possibly can. We don't need silly incidents like that.
Plenty more live football to come on the Talksport network today, with Bournemouth Manchester United here on Talksport 2 straight after this game, and on the app exclusively, Carlisle against Bradford, with Bradford taking a 1-0 lead to Brunton Park. We'll get team news from both those games very shortly here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL playoffs. All three finals to come across our network next weekend. Stockport fire the ball downfield. Olafe, who had that good chance with a header, brings the ball down in the centre of the half. Madden ahead of him, looking to the left-hand side for Collar, but it was a poor pass, well intercepted by Liam Shepherd for Salford, and then he's fouled as he tried to bring the ball up to halfway. There were at least two Stockport players having a nibble at him, and one of them, Ryan Rydell, did a bit too much and gets a yellow card for his trouble. Free kick, 0-0.
Absolutely silly. And Stockport had the momentum. Olafe brought the ball down absolutely brilliantly. He had a free pass out to his right hand side. He just tried the more difficult pass out to the left hand side, giving the ball away in a great position, which then gives Salford a bit of momentum to try and come forward themselves. And again, you know, Shepherd, I think, was the player who went to ground there. He's just holding on to it, done the right thing.
Double change being readied by Salford. Louis Barry and Matty Lund are going to be on. And also another change for Stockport. Akil White, who went down injured a little earlier in the half. He's now being replaced by Miles Hippolyte in midfield. So that's 4 changes for Stockport County. And Hippolyte's first job is to pass a note to Chris Hussey, which Callum Hendry's trying to read on the sly. He can't see what's written on the piece of paper that's been handed to him. I don't know whether it just says score, for goodness sake.
Yeah, you always wonder what's actually on those notes, don't you?
Midway through the second half on Talksport 2, Salford are 3/4 of the way there to Wembley for the League 2 playoff final. They're still 1-0 up on aggregate. They fire a free kick up looking for Matt Smith, edge of the Stockport box, but the home side get the ball clear, only half clear. One back though by the blue shirts. And now Will Collar down this near side the right, travels into the Salford half of the field, plays the ball in field to Hippolyte. Little touch down the left hand side, fired out to the left, and a cross comes in looking for Olafe. It's 1-1 on aggregate. Isaac Olafe with a flying header. Stockport level, and Edgeley Park goes berserk. All square in the tie. The cross from the left-hand side found Isaac Olafe making a run across from right to left, and what a smashing header, planted beyond Cairns, and Stockport are level. We could have extra time here at Edgeley Park. It's 1-0 to Stockport, 1-1 on aggregate.
Well, you talk about quality, and Ryan Rydell over on that left-hand side, he showed it all afternoon long. Give him half a yard, he's going to put that ball into the box. He just rips it towards the penalty area. And Isaac Olafe just gets away from his mark. He's just got to guide it into the corner. He gives Alex Cairns in that Salford goal absolutely no chance. It's a brilliant reaction to the second half from Stockport County. Back on level terms in the tie. Game on.
It's only his third league goal of the season, Isaac Olafe. Joined from Millwall in the January transfer window. That's the most important goal he's scored so far for his new club. 2 changes for Salford before we restart on Talksport 2. Matty Lund coming on, so too Louis Barry, Hendry and McKelney, the players going off. Let's get team news from our 3 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League. Bournemouth Manchester United at the Vitality. Nigel Adderley. That's a wonderful story Nigel brings us there about David Brooks, the young Welshman, back in the starting lineup for Bournemouth, and we all wish him well. What a recovery he's made from serious illness. Back here at Edgeley Park, 1-0 to Stockport, bringing the tie level in this League 2 playoff semi-final. Get Mickey Gray's thoughts in a moment on those two Salford changes, which were being ready before Salford scored. Now, Rydell's just been caught by Matty Lund, who's only been on the pitch a matter of seconds, and that could be a yellow card challenge. It's not been given as such, Mickey, but we all heard your sharp intake of breath.
I just don't understand what Matty Lund's actually thinking. There's no way he's going to win the ball, and it's not a challenge where you're just trying to block the defender. He swiped his right foot at it. I'd say that's 2 or 3 occasions, not so much all from Salford players, but we've had some bad challenges that I think the players have got away with.
Free kick to Stockport County. So as it stands, extra time beckons with 20 minutes to go here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL playoffs. Stockport attacking the Cheadle end, find Paddy Madden. Hippolyte, left hand side, level with the edge of the area, tries to go on the outside of the defender Shepherd, lays it off to Rydell, who wins a corner at the Cheadle end. Stockport's 5th of the game. There is belief all around Edgeley Park now.
Well, you can hear the atmosphere in this stadium. There's momentum now. The pressure is all coming from the home side. They've got themselves back on level terms, and they're thinking at the moment, Dance, they don't want extra time. They want to get it done in 90 minutes if they can.
So a corner kick for Kyle Knoll, where the family stand meets the Cheadle end on the far side of the field from us. Right-footed in-swinger to the edge of the 6-yard box. Flying header from Theo Vassell, got it clear, and he was being fouled, so Salford have a free kick. Tottenham 1, Brentford 2 in the Talksport commentary. Brian Mbumo gets his 2nd of the afternoon for the Bees. Ryan Mason, I don't know, will he be gone before the end of the season? You wouldn't rule it out, would you? He's only got 1 game to negotiate from this one.
Yeah, I mean, look, he will probably see out the season, but he put his name forward for the job, did he, Dance? And those players are just, on a weekly basis, I have to say, are just not reacting to him, are they?
That's live on Talksport right now with Sam Matterface and the former England captain Stuart Pearce, your commentary team of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But plenty going on here at Edgeley Park. Stockport coming forward with Olafi, finds Paddy Madden across the face of goal, and it finds only Liam Shepherd in a red shirt who can whack it clear desperately for Salford. It's 1-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the day, and we have now 18 minutes to play on Talksport 2 at Edgeley Park.
The home side are the ones who are wanting to get on with things, aren't they? And there's 2 forward players. I'd say a lot of credit has to go to Paddy Madden. That groin problem that he's got, still to be out on the pitch, full credit to him. But Alofe has been a big threat in his second half with his pace.
Throw to Salford on the far side of the field. If this game does go to extra time and potentially penalties, just to let you know that this game will go onto the Talksport app, whilst Dan Windle, Nigel Adley and the former Arsenal title winner Perry Groves will bring you the build-up and then the full commentary of that Bournemouth-Manchester United game that you heard the team news from earlier. Also on the app you will find the second leg of Bradford City at Carlisle United, with Bradford leading by a 1-0. Mark Wilson and the former Barnsley Oldham midfielder Neil Redfern will be your commentary team for that one in Cumbria. But we're nowhere near done here at Edgeley Park, and a cheer as Adrian Mariappa volleys the ball onto that corrugated roof above the family stand. There's nothing to block the ball rolling back onto the pitch. They used to lose at least 10 balls a season at St Andrews with a corrugated roof, which had a thing at the front that stopped the balls rolling off the edge. Some poor YTS kid had to go up there every 3 months.
Straight into the water as well if they go over the top.
Absolutely. Oh, and the Shrewsbury, the poor bloke in the coracle have to sit out there, wait for any balls to land in the river.
The big fishing net.
Somebody told me earlier, actually, this stadium, Edgeley Park, is closer to the River Mersey than Goodison Park or Anfield.
It is, that's right.
How ridiculous is that? It's a much smaller tributary of the River Mersey here than it is by the time it gets to Liverpool and Everton. There's not much to divide Salford and Stockport at the moment.
Well, it's the away side who are certainly starting to make the silly mistakes now, Dancer. You know, they're panicking a little bit, the Salford players. You can see Stockport full of confidence, themselves back on level terms, obviously 1-0 up in this game. But what a momentum changer. Needed a reaction in the second half, and they've certainly had that.
That's former Sunderland and England defender Mickey Gray alongside me, Ian Dancer. I guess you can call yourself Sheffield Wednesday defender again now after Thursday night, can't you? Ball given away by Stockport, and it was Sarcevic who's going to get a yellow card for bringing down Louis Barry, and a yellow card goes the way of Sarcevic, who's only been on the pitch as a substitute for about 5 or 6 minutes, but goes straight to the referee's notebook. Louis Barry on loan from Aston Villa, just 19 years of age. Spent the first half of the season on loan at Milton Keynes in League One. And we're waiting to see whether the physios are going to be allowed on to treat him. And Alex Cairns needs a bit of treatment as well, the Salford goalkeeper, with something going on with his left knee, maybe.
Well, the physio's going to be quite busy here, isn't he? I think they've only got one dance, so he can only treat one at a time. But there's a couple of players down, Louis Barry, as you mentioned there, and Alex Cairns.
Barry's getting up of his own volition. Cairns is it a groin problem?
Sick of waiting, I think.
Yeah, it's the inside of his left thigh that's causing Cairns a problem. That's his kicking foot, his left foot. That's his strongest side. Meanwhile, impromptu drinks break on this near side. A few of those gel things being thrown out to players. That's another modern thing you never had, those sort of gel pouches for energy.
I actually did at the end of
did you?
About the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. We were quite advanced when it was at Blackburn Rovers.
They taste like? They taste awful, do they?
No, they're not bad actually. Okay. They're all right, yeah. But I think, and they do work. I wasn't one who used to take them, Dan, I've got to be honest with you, but a lot of the players did, and they relied on them, certainly in the latter stages of games. And one of the players, Paddy Madden, who I just mentioned there before, he came over just to have his little gel pack as well, and he deserves it. I thought he would only last at least 60 minutes of this game, but he's still out there, ran himself into the ground.
Let's get Mark Wilson in to bring us team news from the Talksport app. Commentary will bring you at 3 o'clock. Carlisle against Bradford at Brunton Park. Mark. Thank you, Mark. That is on the app, remember. The Carlisle-Bradford game. Neil Redfern, former Barnsley and Oldham midfielder and former Leeds manager, will be alongside Mark up in Cumbria for that second leg. We'll be off to the Vitality straight after the full-time whistle, after the 90 here at Edgley Park, for build-up and full commentary of Bournemouth-Manchester United on Talksport 2 as part of Game Day exclusive. And if this game does go to extra time, the remainder will be on the Talksport app. But Stockport and Salford in this bright sunshine might not want the extra half hour, and Stockport are trying to force the issue, and they take a quick throw down the right hand side. Madden level the edge of the area, brings it down by the corner flag, wins a corner off Elliot Watt. Another corner to Stockport, they're 6th of the game, this one at the Cheadle end. Fans behind that goal all on their feet. 1-0 and 1-1 on aggregate with 12 minutes to go on Talksport 2.
Another opportunity now to put the ball in the box from a corner. Great play from Noyle and Paddy Madden. He was the one who was initially trying to take the cross. He won him in the box.
Chris Hussey with a left-footed in-swinging corner to come for Stockport County. Runs being made across the near post by Sarcevic. Goes to the far post. Horsfall tried to get something on it. Kept in play by Hippolyte, was it? It was indeed. Looked like it went out. Crosdale tucks it back to Rydell in the centre of the half. Tosses the ball back into the edge of the area. Headed away by Liam Shepherd. Crosdale has the ball again for Stockport. Back for Rydell. First time cross into the edge of the area. Good header clear from Matt Smith, back doing defending for Salford City. And then Hussey elects to go all the way back to Hinchliffe, the goalkeeper, just ahead of his own 18-yard line. 11 to go. 1-0 to Stockport on Talksport 2, bringing this lead to playoff semi-final level at 1 apiece. Where's your money going, Mickey Gray? That's an unfair question.
No, well, you can only judge what's in front of you, and I know that the home side, Stockport County, has certainly got momentum at the moment, and they've just got to keep piling on this pressure. You can see a few of these Salford players are starting to think about the situation. They look a little bit nervy. They're not playing that direct ball up to Matt Smith as much as they were in the first 45, 55 minutes of this game. At Stockport now, you can see they're a little bit more organised. They just still find that a big threat with Matt Smith, though, why they haven't put somebody in front of him, because the longer this game goes on, they will get that one opportunity they're waiting for.
I wonder whether that's what might have been on that piece of paper that was handed to the Stockport defender as the changes were made. Isaac Alafi, the goal scorer for Stockport this afternoon, who's brought us level on aggregate, works the ball back to halfway, and Hussey chips the ball downfield for Stockport. Hippolyte holds it up at the edge of the area, goes down. No foul, says Ben Tony, the referee, and Salford bring it clear. Lovely flick down the left-hand side by Stevie Mallon, and Louis Barry trying to get away, but Kyle Knoll sticks to his task well and gets a round of applause from my co-commentator Mickey Gray.
Absolutely brilliant defender from the fullback there. You find yourself wrong side, got to get yourself back into position. Louis Barry, fresh legs as well. But when it come down to that foot race, Kyle Knoll, absolutely superb. Then kept his cool and played a nice ball out.
He joined in January from Doncaster Rovers. Already scored a couple of goals here, Kyle Knoll. Played for the
7 assists, I think.
Former West Ham youth player. Looks very adept at this level in the right wing back position. He's made his own here since coming to Stockport County. It's 1-0 to the Hatters. We're into the last 9 minutes of normal time, and remember, as things stand with this scoreline, we will have extra time and maybe even penalty kicks in this League 2 semi-final playoff. Flicked on by Hippolyte for Stockport. Sarcevic making a nuisance of himself 30 yards out, but Salford do get back possession. It was a fairly wild clearance from Stevie Mallon just to get it out the Salford half.
Trying to take the pressure off the back line because it's happening too many times. Oh dear.
Slip on halfway by Crowsdale. He almost got dispossessed but got to his feet just in time. Elliot Watt was the man that was close to nicking the ball off him. Ball goes out to the left-hand side in front of the family stand for Stockport, but it's cleared away by the head of Liam Shepherd. Now Matty Lund on as a second-half substitute for Salford. Can't keep the ball in play as he runs past his own fans in that family stand opposite us. It's a throw. 8 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL playoffs. Stockport 1, Salford 0. If you're just tuning in to Talksport 2, that means we are destined for extra time because Salford won the first leg by a 1-0 at the Peninsula Stadium a week ago. Throw to Stockport, 10 yards inside the Salford half of the field to the left-hand side. It's quickly taken by Rydell and picked up by Chris Hussey. Thought about hitting a diagonal ball into the edge of the area, but he's worked it into the centre of the half. Clipped out to this near side for the goal scorer Alafi. The ball took a wild bounce off a divot, but he still tries to go on the outside of Ibu Toure. Holding the ball now down by the corner flag. Gets the cross in. Brilliant control inside the area, at least at first, from Will Collar, but he couldn't get a second touch. Crowsdale wins it back for Stockport. Good foot in. Oh no, it's been given us a foul. I thought Elliot Watt won the ball for Salford, but it's been given us a free kick for Stockport County. 7 to go, 1-0 to Stockport.
He was a little bit frustrated there, Elliot Watt. I think he thought himself that he'd made a little bit of contact with the ball, but just before that, Olofe, if he'd have got his first touch right, it just gave him a better opportunity to put the ball in the box, but eventually did get it in there. But you can see all the Salford players are in their own 18-yard area just trying to clear their lines, but giving this foul away gives Stockport a great opportunity to put the ball back into Salford's area.
35 yards out, and the giant Matt Smith is one of the 2 men in the wall. Could be 3 at the moment. In fact, it's become 3 now. Ibature has come to join that wall, and that wall is stationed just to the left of the D, outside the area to our right hand side. I think the way Chris Hussey spotted this ball down, I think he might fancy having a crack at goal here for Stockport.
Well, both players on the ball now, both left footers, Dance. It looks, I don't know, is it Rydell who's going to take it now? They've both got great quality, haven't they? And what a chance with only a 3-man wall. Yes, albeit it's a tall wall, but you've got a chance.
Hussey's moved away. Rydell will strike it left-footed off that wall and behind for a corner to Stockport County. 6 to play on Talksport 2 in the playoffs. Still 1-0 to Stockport, 1-1 in aggregate.
So much pressure from the home side. And again, the quality's there from the set pieces, albeit not from the free kick, but another chance now for Hussey just to whip that ball into the box.
Left-footed in-swinger from Hussey at the Cheadle end into the near post. It's Lund who heads it clear, the first defender. Barry trying to sprint away from Noyle. He's got the better of him this time. Gets up to halfway, and he was being pushed to the ground by Noyle, who gets a free kick, a yellow card, should I say, Kyle Noyle, for giving away that free kick. What's that? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I shan't bother counting. It's enough yellow cards.
I think it's 5, 6.
He's kept up his average, let's put it that way. Ben Tony this afternoon, our referee. What did you say, 114 yellows?
It was 119 yellows before the game. It's 6 he's actually given to Stockport players. And I think it's only one for Salford, isn't it?
That's right, Toure.
But yeah, I think that was the right call. You could see Noyle there. Stockport full-back was just pulling on Louis Barry. I think it was the right call to give him a yellow card.
5 to go in normal time, plus whatever Ben Turner wants to add on for stoppages. Bournemouth, Manchester United to come here on Talksport 2 at the full-time whistle. But if this game continues into extra time, you can listen to it on the Talksport app as Paddy Madden goes down on the left-hand side under pressure from Liam Shepherd. But again, the referee says that's not a foul. And Salford have a throw midway point of their own half.
Well, I think Paddy Madden done really well there. He got the right side of Liam Shepherd, just shielded the ball out. Look, it looked as if the ball was going to go out of play. But if there's contact, it goes to ground. I think the referee has to give a foul. I think it's a bit of a let-off that for Salford.
Clearance downfield might break for Salford, and it's Stevie Mallon working the ball back to his central midfield partner Elliot Watt on halfway. Now Liam Shepherd out to the Salford right. Little touch from Matty Lund, claiming that there was a foul in there. Nothing doing, says the referee. Perfectly legitimate challenge, he says, and Stockport have the ball back. Less than 4 to play of the 90. 1-0 to Stockport, 1-1 on aggregate. Talksport 2 in the playoffs. Plenty more live football to come. Don't forget, next week in the Premier League, we've got Monday night football again. Newcastle against Leicester. Could that be Leicester's denouement? Could that be the end of their Premier League stay? Just 7 years after winning the title.
I was at St James's Park on Thursday evening, dancing. That place is absolutely rocking at the moment. Brilliant performance against Brighton, who played their part in the second half, but
Champions League bound.
Yeah.
Perhaps they'll sign Faustino Asprilla again just for the Champions League.
Well, they've got Isak now.
That's true.
What a player he is.
1-0 to Stockport on Talksport 2 with 3 minutes to play at Edgeley Park. A goal now for either side would surely win it and take them through to Wembley. Madden out to the left-hand side. Rydell, as he want to throw, he has indeed, about 10 yards from the corner flag in that family stand on the opposite side from us.
But what are you thinking now, Dance? If you're sorry for jumping in, Dance. But if you're a Stockport player, are you thinking, right, let's go for it in 90 minutes, or do you hang on to what you've got and maybe take your chances in the extra time?
Hippolyte with a long throw for Stockport into the 6-yard box. It's headed out by Toure. Kept inside the box by Olafe. Rydell swings across it. Madden tries to flick it goalwards and it hits the stanchion behind the goal with Cairns at full stretch. It was a good yard or so over, but it hit the post behind the goal that holds the netting up, which made it look closer than it actually was. Goal kick, 1-0 Stockport. Salford wanted to get the ball downfield.
Yeah, very clever from Paddy Madden. Pretty much all he could do as that ball come into the area, just stuck out a right leg. Tried to keep it below the crossbar, couldn't he? But he just, unfortunately for him, couldn't do it.
Alex Cairns for Salford, the keeper, drives the ball downfield left-footed. Flicked on halfway by Matt Smith, but Stockport have it back in their blue shirts. And it's with Fraser Horsfall. Square ball for Anthony Sarcevic. Diagonal ball from him, seeking out Rydell, beautifully hit but well intercepted by Liam Shepherd at the expense of a throw. 90 seconds of normal time to go, and then your guess is as good as mine for how many minutes Ben Toner's going to add on for stoppages at the end of this second period. And a third goal for Brentford in the Talksport commentary. Tottenham 1, Brentford 3. Cue mass exodus, I would imagine, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Johan Visser, who set up one of the first 2 goals from Burmo, has got on the score sheet himself. Sam Matterpace and the former England captain Stuart Pearce bringing the final stages of that. And don't forget, Jamie O'Hara looks after the phone-in tonight. Miles off it and shambles will be 2 phrases used liberally by Jamie O'Hara from around 5:30, and Gabby Agbonlahor, the former Villa player, will be poking Jamie O'Hara with sticks about that result, I imagine. Get your calls into the boys from 5:30. 03717223344. Salford back here at Edgeley Park, preventing a corner to Stockport County, but it's a throw to the Hatters, and Miles Hippolyte is clearly the long throw specialist. Perhaps he's had a bit of coaching from Dave Channel there about how to launch these in. Dave from his Tranmere days was brilliant at the long throw. Hippolyte launches the throw into the edge of the 6-yard box. Well headed clear. Can Salford bring it further clear? Needs skill from Luke Bolton. Just to skip away from Rydell. He's gone past Crowsdale. He's trying to go past another player. Brilliant run from Luke Bolton into the area. Still going. And then he hits it against Hitchcliffe. It drifted towards the goal line. And it was Starchevich who cleared his lines. Into 6 minutes of added time. That's what we're in now on Talksport 2 with a score of 1-0. What a run from Luke Bolton, fully 70 yards downfield, and he managed to get the shot away, albeit deflected. A chance for Salford to win it, Mickey Gray.
That was unbelievable, I have to say, and it came from a Stockport County corner, cleared by Matt Smith, and when it fell to Luke Bolton, he had, 80 yards to get into the Stockport 18-yard box. Absolutely brilliant play down the right-hand side. No challenges come in. He kept to his feet. He had a little ball across the 6-yard area. When he was in that position, you just see him alongside Hinchcliffe, and he thought he could get the ball underneath him. Has to go down as a great save, but what an incredible run from Bolton.
Well, he's down on his backside inside the Stockport penalty area. I don't know whether he's injured or he just wants a drink, but the physio's out there attending to Luke Bolton, so Stockport players, one or two Stockport players come to this near touchline to get a bit of a chat with Dave Chandler, but far more Salford players chatting with Neil Wood at this point. So we are destined for extra time. We're into the 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time here on Talksport 2 at Edgeley Park. A reminder that if this stays at this scoreline at the full-time whistle, this game will be broadcast through extra time and potential penalties on the Talksport app, whilst here on Talksport 2, Dan Windle, Nigel Adderley, your commentator, and Perry Groves, the former Arsenal winger, will bring you build-up and full commentary on Bournemouth, Manchester United in the Premier League on Game Day exclusive. So both this game and then the full game between Carlisle and Bradford in the League 2 playoff semi-finals, that will also be exclusive to the Talksport app. Get it downloaded for free from your app store, whether it's Android or whether it's Apple, and you'll be able to download that for free and swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2 with a minimum of fuss. So I hope you can join us for the extra time, if that indeed is what we're going to have, because there's still at least 4 minutes to play out here at Edgeley Park, with the score at 1-1 on aggregate. Salford throw down the left-hand side. Louis Barry just lofts the ball quite neatly into the area with the outside of his right boot down the left-hand side, but it didn't find Matt Smith. Not the best of clearances though, and Ibu Toure for Salford clips the ball into the box. Only Smith in there. The header lobs in the air, drops at the edge of the area, and an offside flag goes up against Matty Lund, and Stockport can get the ball downfield with a free kick. Mickey Gray.
If you take the conditions into play today, Danson, how hot it has actually been out there, you talked about there being no shadows in the game throughout the whole of the 90 minutes. They're out on the feet, the players. They've pretty much given absolutely everything, and it looks like we're going into extra time of another 30 minutes. You've got to come up with a game plan. Game plan is, right, well, okay, Matt Smith, he's run himself into the ground, he's been absolutely brilliant as a target man for Salford. It's going to be so difficult. We're going to see mistakes, and that's probably where one of the winning goals are going to come from if we don't go all the way to penalties.
Stockport come forward, the ball's in the area, Madden's offside again. How many times has Paddy Madden been offside this afternoon? At least 4 times. He wagged his finger at the assistant, but he looked offside to me, and we're nowhere near in line with when the ball was headed to him just inside the box. So Salford have a free kick. 3.5 minutes of the minimum 6 that have been added on have elapsed. You're listening to Talksport 2 in the playoffs. No closer to knowing which of these two sides from Greater Manchester are going to Wembley for the League 2 playoff final next Sunday at 1:30 live on Talksport 2. Now, on the right hand side, it's with Luke Bolton on the overlap is Shepherd, but he can't get to the ball for Salford before it trickles over the dead ball line. Right idea from Luke Bolton, just a bit too firm a pass, and Shepherd couldn't catch up with it, and Stockport have a goal kick. 1-0.
Just got a little bit too much on that. I don't think Liam Shepherd will be really thanking Luke Bolton. At the 92nd minute of the game, he's doing an overlap from full-back position. He just had a little bit too much pace on that ball.
A goal now definitely wins it for either of these two sides, and Stockport have a throw 20 yards from the corner flag on this near side to right. Will Collar wants to take it. Hippolyte not going to get involved with the long throw this time. It's back with Will Collar, who's got it back from Sarcevic, clips the ball into the edge of the area. Theo Vassell rises for Salford to get it clear. Croasdale tries to bring it down, then Hippolyte with a high boot catches Theo Vassell, not intentionally. I'm not sure whether he's going to get a yellow card for that, Miles Hippolyte. Vassell's back on his... he's not back on his feet, he's on his haunches, and it is indeed another. That's 8 yellow cards for Stockport players as Hippolyte gets a yellow card for a high boot. 1-0 Stockport, 1-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, Dan, there was no malice in it at all, was there? You know, it wasn't studs basically in his face, albeit I think he's got a bit of a problem here, Vassell, because the physios are coming on, probably a little bit of blood on his face. Well, all the Salford players surrounded the referee there, Bentona.
Well, Hippolyte wasn't looking for where Vassell was coming. He came from his blind side, effectively, didn't he?
Yeah, and straight away, you know, there was nobody going up to Hippolyte to say, no, you know, there's a bad challenge. It was just an honest player trying to flick the ball over the top of Vassell's head. Couldn't do it. And unfortunately, you know, he's found himself in the book again, but certain yellow cards have been given today, and I think they've been a little bit harsh, you have to be honest with you, because it's been really physical, the game. We've seen some fantastic challenges in the game. But
you were clean as a whistle as a player, he'd have booked you by now.
I couldn't get my leg that high, I've got to be honest with you.
Especially not now, right?
Definitely not now.
Well, we've played the 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time, but we're still waiting for Theo Vassell to get to his feet, so we will have to be completely under the jurisdiction of Bentona as to when the final whistle goes here at Edgeley Park to signal the end of 90 minutes, but it will herald extra time and penalties live on the Talksport app if indeed there are no further goals here. Vassell just on his knees now, getting a bit of strapping around his head.
What could be interesting if we do, and it looks like we are going to extra time as well, Dan. Stockport made the substitutions a lot earlier than what Salford have. They've only made a couple themselves. I don't know, you know the answer to this. Do you get an extra one if it goes to extra time?
And Callum Morton's ready in the wings for Salford. He scored vital playoff goals in semi-finals and finals for Northampton Town.
All that experience, playoff experience, can work in your favour. There's no question of that. But I want to feel this crowd. The second half, yes, Stockport have got behind their players, but I think they're feeling a little bit tense at the moment, and there's no question when we get to that 30 minutes of extra time, they're going to need that energy in the stadium just to get them over the line.
Theo Vassell doing his best Terry Butcher impression with the strapping round his head as he's led away to the far side. Nowhere near as much blood as on Terry Butcher's.
It was about the same colour as the Salford shirt.
It is, yeah. If it was blood, you wouldn't see it. You're dead right. We're going to get back underway with a free kick for Alex Cairns for Salford. So we played 7.5 minutes of added time now. There were only 6 added on, but there's been at least 2 delays for injuries in this stoppage time period. 1-0 to Stockport on the day, 1-1 on aggregate. Maybe time for a winner. Olafe, who scored the only goal of the game this afternoon, charging down the left-hand side, forcing Mariappa with all of his experience to hook the ball out of play for a throw. Hippolyte will have a long throw from the far side and get it in to the Salford penalty area. This could be the last chance of the 90. Hippolyte with the long throw. It bounces inside the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Vassell. Drops out to the left-hand side, and there is the final whistle, and we need extra time and maybe penalties to decide which of these two sides from Greater Manchester gets the great day out at Wembley, because Isaac Olafe with a firm header in the second half has brought this tie level on aggregate. There were just over 20 minutes to play when Croasdale, the substitute, forced the ball out left for Ryan Rydell on the left-hand side, and his cross saw a flashing header from Olafe, beat Alex Cairns, and so we head for extra time on the Talksport app with a score at 90 minutes. Stockport 1, Salford 0, 1-1 on aggregate. It doesn't look like there are going to be any changes to personnel at the start of extra time. So for Stockport, Hinchliffe the goalkeeper. You've got Noyle, Horsfall, Hussey, Collar, Croasdale, Hippolyte, Sarcevic, Rydell, Olafe and Madden. And for Salford, Cairns in goal, Shepherd, Vassell, Mariappa, Toure, Watt, Mallon, Lund, Bolton and Barry in behind Smith, and Ben Toner, the referee, and his assistants. They need a bit of water as well, a bit of fluid to see them through the next half hour. And now they're heading out to the centre spot, and Salford will be attacking the railway end to our left hand side in this first period of extra time. Stockport in their blue shirts and socks and white shorts, Salford in the red shirts, white shorts and socks, and Ibu Toure and Paddy Madigan to sort out a coin toss to see if indeed it is the Vitality end that Stockport are heading to.
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it, Dan, how they've all set up
and then they do the coin toss.
And then they do the coin toss.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strange. But another player, Paddy Madden, I've mentioned this a couple of times, been out with that groin problem. He's got 90 odd minutes under the belt already. He's got to find another 30. Incredible. Full credit to him.
Salford will get extra time underway here on the Talksport app, with the ball to be rolled back by Stevie Mallon, who's the only player in the centre circle, and we get extra time underway. 1-1 the score on aggregate, and Salford trying to work the ball down the inside left channel, but cleared comfortably. Vassell, who's had his head wrapped in white bandages after a late clash at the end of the second half. You can see a little patch of blood forming underneath that white strapping around his head.
He might have to get that looked at again, Dance.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure the referee's going to let that roll, because Vassell, you can see it's obviously a big cut on his forehead.
Now, there's a Salford player gone down with a bit of cramp. I think it's Elliot Watt. It is indeed Elliot Watt, right down beneath us, because our commentary position's only about, I would say, 20 rows back from the respective dugouts. Neil Wood and Dave Challoner, definitely both tracksuit managers. No shirts and suits and tan shoes on evidence today in this League 2 semi-final playoff second leg. Still 1-1 at aggregate then. And of course, away goals have long since been taken out of the EFL playoffs. Over 20 years since the away goal rule was taken out of these semi-finals. It's only a more recent phenomenon in the Champions League and the Europa League that the away goals has been taken out of play. Ball's back with Alex Cairns, the Salford goalkeeper, in all yellow this afternoon. Gets to about 5 yards ahead of his own 18-yard box, strokes the ball left for Ibu Toure, diagonal ball into the Stockport half, just cushioned down by Matty Lund for Shepherd. Now Bolton, who comes in field with a strong run from the right hand side up to the edge of the area. He ran into Chris Hussey and fouled him. He was trying another strong run that he tried at the end of the second half of normal time, where he almost scored a worldie goal with a 70-yard run.
Yeah, he certainly did. Brilliant energy levels, and again I think his touch just got away from him a little bit on this occasion. Chris Hussey just stood his ground, waited for that ball, didn't he? And eventually it was the right call. It was a foul.
Olafe heads the ball up in the air. He was the man that got the only goal of the game here this afternoon to bring us level on aggregate for Stockport, but he can't win the second ball. It's worked back to halfway, but Stockport have it back with Anthony Sarcevic. Just wriggles away from Matty Lund and then looks for the invisible man out on that far touchline, passes it straight out of play, much to the delight of the Salford fans in that family stand opposite us. Salford try and respond. Long ball downfield, looking for Bolton, who's got him behind Hussey, but still there was the defender was holding him off as Rydell, but he got the shot away, Bolton, but it was a comfortable save low down to his right by Ben Hinchliffe.
Didn't really get the sting on his shot there, did he, Luke Bolton? It's a great little diagonal pass just to get him in between the two centre halves. Nice play. Well, again, Luke Bolton's energy, absolutely fantastic. Full credit to him. We've seen a couple of players already, dance, haven't we, going down with cramp early on, but he has not stopped.
Former Manchester City Academy graduate Luke Bolton came to Salford January of last year. Don't think he ever made any appearances for Manchester City, but he's got 6 goals and 7 assists this season. Now another change for Stockport, and Isaac Alafe is limping off. Well, he's made his contribution this afternoon, Mickey Gray. He's got the goal that's brought this tie level, and Jack Stretton is coming on to replace him.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Certainly second half performance from Isaac Alafe. And a wonderful header to get this tie back on level terms. Lots of pats on his back coming off the pitch there. Brilliant performance from the centre forward.
So it's a striker for a striker. Jack Stretton, 21 years of age, joined in January from Derby. He was at Carlisle first half of the season. Of course, Carlisle play at 3 o'clock against Bradford City. That's also on the Talksport app. So if you want to listen to that game when this one is finished, you'll find it on the live games tab of the Talksport app with a little play icon next to the 2 team names, and you'll be able to listen to that commentary with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern. 1-0 to Stockport, coming forward with Chris Hussey, the Stockport 23, out to Rydell on this near side of the left. Good cross into the box. They're going to go all the way through, and Cairns touches it behind. Everybody stopped in both blue and red shirts. I'm not sure it was going to nip inside the far post that Cairns was covering, but he elected to tip it behind anyway for a Stockport corner kick at the railway end.
What a ball again from Ryan Rydell, this time with his right foot, just whipping it into a danger area, and all the Salford players are tracking back. Nobody wants to make contact with it. It's got enough pace on it, and Alex Cairns doesn't know if it's just going to creep in it that far stick. He has to make the save.
Chris Hussey with the corner kick where the railway end meets the family stand. Onto the 6-yard line. Theo Vassell heads it clear. Good strong header from him. Brought down by Louis Barry, the second half substitute for Salford. Tries to play the ball over halfway to get Bolton in behind. Bolton will get there. Crosdale coming across to close him down. Bolton tucks it in field to Mallon. Mallon finds Shepherd. First time ball into the centre of the half for Watt. Good ball into Matty Lund. He's got space to maybe to size up a shot for Salford, but he elects to lay it off to Watt again. Out to the left-hand side, and Barry scrapping for the ball with Kyle Knoll. Comes in field, Louis Barry. Still got the ball at his feet. Lovely ball out to the right-hand corner of the area, and Bolton. He tees it up for Shepherd. First on cross into the box, volleyed clear by Hussey for Stockport. And now Stretton's first involvement is to try and outpace Toure down the Stockport right. Keeps it in play, tight to that far touchline. Toure's now got goal side. Stretton trying to go on the outside of him. Good ball into the near post, but Madden wasn't there. He was claimed at his near post by the Salford keeper Alex Cairns. 6 gone in the first period of extra time. It's still Stockport 1, Salford 0. Loose pass there from Elliot Watt, but Stockport can't profit from it, and the ball's ricocheted back to Alex Cairns. Mickey Gray.
The game, it's so open now, and understandably so. Players are out on the feet, and we're seeing lots of mistakes, but great build-up play from Salford down this right-hand side. They switch the ball to the left, and then you're just waiting for Louis Barry just to pull the trigger. He had so much time. His first touch wasn't the best. It was caught under his feet a little bit. Tried to play a little short pass, and that then gives Stockport the opportunity to break forward.
Earlier today, Brentford won 3-1 at Tottenham, live on Talksport. Hippolyte, lovely skill on halfway for Stockport, but then gave the ball away as he tried to thread it over the halfway line for Paddy Madden. 1-1 it remains on aggregate. Matty Lund inside his own half for Salford. Feeds the ball out to Shepherd on this near side. Quick ball in field for Mallon. Mallon just chops in field to keep away from Sarcevic. And now Ibu Toure takes over. Looking to release Louis Barry down the left-hand side of the area. Puts it across the face of goal and hooked away by Hussey from underneath his own crossbar. Hinchliffe, the Stockport keeper, came racing out of his goal. Barry got there first, but his goal-bound lob is cleared off the line by Chris Hussey.
Wow, it's just incredible. Well, Salford have now thought that they're going to actually start to play football. They're playing it through midfield. It's a great ball out to the left-hand side. What a chance. The ball just sticks in the grass. And again, Louis Barry with that little, was it Lund, just that little dink over the top of Hinchliffe. Fantastic defending to keep it out of the Stockport goal. It's end to end, silly mistakes. Just seeing another mistake there. It goes from Hippolyte won the ball back brilliantly for his side. Stockport County then tries to play simple little 10-yard pass out to the right hand side and just gets it completely wrong. The players are absolutely shattered, but seen some great football also.
I think Ben Hinchliffe, the Stockport keeper, got a bit of a volley from the coaching staff of Dave Challoner.
Came out a little bit too early, Dance, didn't he? You see, the ball was always going to stick. The pitch has dried up a little bit now because the sun's just been firing down on it for the whole of the game, and that might be the outlet ball, just to play it over the top of either defence, get in behind it and use your pace and
long
your quality.
Throw from Salford into the edge of the Salford area, but headed away by Horsfall. He gets there again to lob the ball clear towards the halfway line. Mariappa keeps it alive for Salford, but his header down the Salford left is straight to Kyle Noyle, and headed out play by Vassell. Both him and Stretton were shielding their eyes from the sun. The ball was hit so high in the air by Noyle, and Vassell's given away a throw-in to Stockport County in front of the Salford fans in that family stand opposite our commentary position in the West Stand. Good skill by Kyle Noyle, at least initially, to get down the right hand side. It's thumped away by Toure. Matt Smith looking for Lund over halfway. Good skill from Lund, tried to play a reverse ball to get Bolton in, but it was a Stockport boot that got in the way of the pass, and the ball's back with Will Collar. Now Sarcevic, bags of space on this near side for Rydell, but he just couldn't find him, Sarcevic, with the pass, and the ball's guided back by Shepherd. A bobbling ball for Kens that he dealt with really well, in actual fact, the Salford keeper, because Jack Stretton was closing him down. Had to get a good connection, and he did. Yeah,
he did. Well, that pass from Crowsdale from right to left just had to get a lot more pace on it. He had acres of space down this left hand side, Rydell, and the quality just had to be better.
Ian Danter and Mickey Gray with you on Talksport app. 10 minutes gone in the first period of extra time. Stockport 1, Salford 0 on the day. 1-1 on aggregate. Isaac Alafe's second half header still keeping this game level. Long throw from Liam Shepherd for Salford on this near side of the right, flicked on by Smith on halfway, but Sarcevic gets his head to the ball. Madden heads it up in the air. Will it drop for Stretton? No, it's volleyed away by Mallon, but Barry on the far side couldn't control it with his chest for Salford, so it's the throw on halfway to Stockport County. Fraser Horsfall, former Northampton centre half. He finds Chris Hussey, who can make tracks into the Salford half. Trying to play it down the left hand side of the area to find Rydell, but there was a Salford boot in the way of that. Tidied up at the back by Fraser Horsfall for Stockport on halfway, and Crowsdale puts into the centre circle for Sarcevic. Plenty forward in Stockport blue. Wanted the ball played up there, but another square ball for Crowsdale. Now Rydell back in field for Crowsdale, almost trod on the ball, plays it right, and Sarcevic just inching into the Salford half of the field. Now plays the ball up to the right hand corner of the box, and Kyle Noel tried to drive it across the penalty area. Again, Salford got a foot there first, but Stockport won it back. Madden about 30 yards out, feeds Miles Hippolyte to the left hand corner of the box, and Will Collar tries to loft a crossing off the chest of Liam Shepherd. Comes out to Rydell, back to Collar on the left wing. Another ball lofted into the area. Keeper stays at home, and he was bailed out by two defenders because it so nearly dropped for Jack Stretton.
What a ball. Listen to the atmosphere now. The home side getting on top. Great ball into the area there from Collar.
2.5 minutes of this first period of extra time to go. Another cross from Rydell from the left hand side, just in behind Will Collar, who was trying to rise on the 6-yard line with a header. Cleared away, and now Stockport have got some defending to do. Salford on the counter. Matty Lund, he got in a mix with his own player, and Crowsdale brings the ball forward, skips past Elliot Watt, who fouled him, won the ball back, but at the expense of a free kick and a yellow card for Elliot Watt. And again, the yellow card for the Salford player gets as big a cheer, almost, as the goal that Alafe scored.
Yeah, it did. And again, dancing on, we're seeing the mistakes. Players going down right in front of us with cramp. Players are out on the feet.
Yeah, it's Rydell this time, isn't it, that's got cramp. Callum Morton's going to be on shortly for Salford. Well, and I was at it was known as the Johnny Rocks Stadium at the time. It's now the Completely Suzuki, home of Cheltenham Town, where Callum Morton came on as a substitute for Northampton in the League Two playoffs. Scored vital goals to take Northampton to the final, and a goal in the final at Wembley.
Well, what an important time it's going to be for Morton to come on the field for Salford here as well. I was just watching Matt Smith. He was running the channels and winning a lot of headers in the first 90 minutes of the game, but if you're not going to play it straight to him now, I don't think he's got much left, but he's such a threat, it's very difficult to think about taking him off.
Free kick for Hussey to send into the Salford box. Up go the heads. It's Matt Smith, the big man, back there for Salford, heading it out of play on the far side for a throw to Stockport County, and Hippolyte is going to launch another long throw into the Salford box. The last minute of the first period of extra time on the Talksport app. 1-1 an aggregate. Hippolyte with the throw around the edge of the 6-yard box. Horsfall rises but can't get the flick on. Hussey wins it back, sends it out to the right hand side. Hippolyte, first time ball in, good delivery, headed out from in front of his own goal. Again, Matt Smith, the big man at the back, headed clear. Another lovely ball into the box, this time from Miles Hippolyte. 1-0.
Brilliant again, Matt Smith on a couple of occasions, helping out his defence, using his height and his physicality, just clearing his lines, taking that pressure off the back line, because at the moment it's all Stockport County. They're putting some wonderful balls into the box, just waiting for that one bit of quality of somebody getting on the end of one of these chances.
Rintoul, 1 minute of minimum added time at the end of this first period of extra time, and it will start with a Stockport County free kick over on the right hand side as they attack the railway end to our left, about 25 yards inside the Salford half. Whipped in by Hussey, headed out by Lund at the back. Mallon tried to send it downfield, but it only drops for Ryan Crowsdale in the centre of the half. Helped out by Rydell, striding forward, plenty of red shirts around him trying to put him off. He comes out to this near side, the left hand touchline, plays the ball in field, brilliant control by Sarcevic, gets to the byline left hand side, tries to swing the cross in, deflected behind for a ninth corner of the game for Stockport by Elliot Watt, and there'll be time to take it in this added period. 1-0 Stockport.
What a touch from Sarcevic. Got fired at him there from Rydell, who's just ran off that cramp. Great first touch just to keep the pressure on this back line of Salford.
So Kyle Knoll with this corner kick at the railway end for Stockport County. Deep in stoppage time at the end of the first period of extra time. Goes to the far post. Matt Smith again there with a vital header clear, and that will be half time in extra time. No change to what we had at the 90-minute mark. We are 15 minutes away as it stands from a penalty shootout to decide which of these sides from Greater Manchester goes to Wembley Stadium for the League Two playoff final. You're listening to Stockport 1, Salford 0 in the EFL League 2 playoff semi-final, live on the Talksport app with Carling. We're made by our mates, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Another final word from, it's actually, I think it's Elliot Watt having a strong word with his Salford teammates in a little huddle before they break, and the ancillary staff and the coaches head to this near touchline before we get the second period of extra time underway. And I think the PA announcer's just reminding supporters of their responsibilities at the full-time whistle, whichever way this game goes.
Absolutely.
Actually, that's what I'll give Middlesbrough fans enormous credit on Wednesday night, beaten by Coventry, who of course are now playing Luton in the Championship playoff final a week today. But there was no malice, no toxicity at the Riverside. Change has been made by Salford City, and the big man Matt Smith can do no more, and Callum Morton, once a West Bromwich Albion youth player who scored goals in playoff semi-finals and finals for Northampton Town, he's on as a straight swap in attack. Salford in their blue shirts and socks get us underway with the white shorts kicking towards the Cheadle end to our right. Salford, red shirts, white shorts, white socks. They'll be heading to the railway end to our left. And with every kick and with every piece of play that elapses, we draw closer to the jeopardy of a penalty shootout. Are they playing for penalties, these two sides, or will there be a genuine effort to go for it in this final 15 minutes or so on the Talksport app?
I'm just going to ask you that, Dance. When do you get, in this period, the final 15 minutes of extra time, when do you start to think to yourself, well,
I'll ask you that because you know Sunderland-Charlton, everyone remembers the famous final at Wembley, the 4-4. What was that extra time like for you? Can you think back?
Yeah, but I think what you do in that moment is, as a player, you try and read the situation.
Because there were goals in that extra time, right?
Yeah, there was a couple of goals. Nick Summerby got our fourth goal in extra time, and then obviously Richard Rufus, I think, was the equaliser, wasn't it?
Now Mars Hippolyte trying to control the ball inside the Salford area, out to the left-hand side. Rydell just couldn't keep it down, but Hippolyte's won it back, rolls it back to the edge of the area. Crowsdale with an attempted shot blocked by Elliot Watt, and now there's a break on for Salford City. It's Louis Barry carrying the ball downfield. Morton just on the field as a substitute, gets to the edge of the area, gets his shot away. It's blocked by Horsfall, who goes down with cramp, and the ball's back in the arms of the Stockport keeper Ben Hinchliffe. But Callum Morton fresh on, fresh legs to worry that Stockport back line, and Horsfall is struggling.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to see a little bit more of this. Players going down with cramp. So it's been such a hot day out there, and the players are giving absolutely everything. But what a chance for Salford. Callum Morton comes on. He just shifted that ball when he got into the 18-yard box onto his left foot. If he'd have been a bit more calmer, he just hit the head up, and you could see that run from Louis Barry, and also I think it was Matty Lund over on the right-hand side. It was acres of space, just needed a reverse pass towards him, and it was a simple tap into the back of the net.
Yeah, it looked the more attacking ball to play, but then we're not out there in the thick of it like Louis Barry was. He elected to go with Callum Morton. He did get the shot away, but Horsfall blocked it. He's back on his feet, and we stay at 1-0 on the day, 1-1 on aggregate. Theo Vassell for Salford at the edge of his own area, heads the ball clear somewhat nervously. Hippolyte for Stockport gets it down, passes out to his left wing back Rydell. Rydell puts the ball into the area, up goes Will Collar, heads the ball up into the air, but it's claimed by the Salford keeper Alex Cairns.
And going back to your point, Dan, of when do you go for penalties, well, from what I'm seeing so far in this final 15 minutes, neither side have settled for the 1-1 after the two games and extra time. Certainly from that break from Salford a second ago. But yeah, there's a point in the game where you just feel the game drifting away from you, so you just clear your lines and then you take your chances when it does come down to penalties.
I imagine that the Salford fans might be a little happier with a rearguard action from their travelling squad than the home fans will surely be roaring their team on to try and win it in the 120 minutes. Remains to be seen.
See the coaches down in front of us there alongside Dave Chandler waving the crowd to say, come on, we need you, we need a little bit more.
Free kick for Stockport, bounces inside the Salford area, and it's guided behind by Mariappa. It's a decent signing for a free agent, isn't it, Adrian Mariappa, to bring him, and that's what Salford are all about. They've
been clever, haven't they, over the season since the 92 boys have walked through the door. They've had some very good players walk through the door, maybe even dropping down divisions. I think it was Wayne Rooney's brother.
Adam Rooney.
Yeah, I think he was on big wages at the time, but
massive wages, because he'd been at Birmingham, Adam Rooney, I remember, and I think he left Solihull Moors, or was it to go to Salford? Yeah, he was on Aberdeen. That was it. He was playing for Aberdeen at the time, and went to Salford City and that was the first sign that Peter Lim and the players like Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, Roy Keane meant business. But remember, this is Salford City's first dabble with the EFL playoffs. Stockport in possession. They played 19 minutes. Sarcevic, great skill on the halfway line, finds Noel. Noel will leave it for Will Collar, tucks it infield from this right-hand touchline. Madden looks to play it into the area. Stretton wants a piece of it. It's cleared away hurriedly by Toure at the expense of a Stockport throw away to our right.
Well,
20 minutes gone.
How good was that from Sarcevic?
Yeah.
Very clever, tight control, got away from about 3 or 4 players, but then didn't panic, played a lovely little reverse pass.
Long throw from Hippolyte for Stockport into the area. Heads go up. Matt Lund heads it, or hooks it clear. It's back inside the area. Ibu Toure now with a lofted clearance for Salford. Morton can't win it back, at least not initially. Now he'll get it again and flicks it neatly out to Louis Barry on this near touchline. Skips past Hussey, skips past another player, and then he's brought down by Sarcevic. Free kick to Salford just shy of the halfway line. 9.5 minutes away from a penalty shootout in the League Two playoff semi-final second leg. How's your nerves, folks?
Well, again, I mean, we're seeing some real quality, aren't we? I mean, this time from Louis Barry and for Salford. Great tight control, but when he got his head up after he got away from his markers, there's nobody in front of him. He had to try and do it all on his own.
Got colleagues alongside us from the Stockport side of things who are looking decidedly nervous. Nails being chewed down to the marrow, never mind the bone. Stevie Mallon with a free kick for Salford, up to the edge of the area. Morton tries to turn, an important challenge from Will Collar, leaves Morton on the deck. Collar again gets his foot in, but it breaks for Stevie Mallon for Salford. Deflected! It's in! It's in! Stevie Mallon has put Salford in control of this tie. Joy on the away bench, and Stevie Mallon goes to those Salford fans on the far side of the field. He tried his luck from 25 yards out. It took a wicked deflection of a Salford player, wrong-footed Ben Hinchliffe, and Salford are 8 minutes away from Wembley Stadium in the League Two playoff final. It's Stockport 1, Salford 1, 2-1 on aggregate.
Oh, well, how do you feel if you're a Stockport County player? Look, when Mallon picks up that ball there's no pressure. He's 25, 30 yards out. He gets a half a yard and he just lets rip, doesn't he? A little deflection. I think it might have come off Crosdale, who came off the bench. There's nothing he can do about it. He just puts his body in the way. But you're right, it just gives Ben Hinchliffe absolutely no chance in that Stockport County goal. And you play potluck, you take your shots on, you hit the target, you never know what could happen, and that is a massive goal for Salford City.
Came to Salford from the Turkish second division last June, did Stevie Mallon. Dad spells in Scotland, and before play can restart, Alex Cairns, who had problems with his left thigh, the Salford goalkeeper in the second half, is asking for a bit of treatment. So Stockport, all players pretty much hands on hips, feeling that this is slipping away from them. Have got 7 minutes plus added time to try and score a second goal this afternoon that would force a penalty shootout.
Well, the place has just gone flat, hasn't it, Dance? Yeah. Because it just came out of nowhere. Here's myself and you talking about trying to see out extra time and go to penalties. Well, you look for a bit of magic or a bit of good fortune. Well, they've certainly had that, Salford, with that Stephen Mallon goal. I mean, where's he found the energy first and foremost to actually take that shot on from so far out? I'm surprised he reached, but he got everything behind it, and that little deflection just gives Hinchcliffe absolutely no chance.
Back underway on the Talksport app. It's fourth goal of the season for Stevie Mallon to put Salford on the brink of a trip to Wembley. They've been there before for the Papa John's Trophy final when Richie Wellens was manager and got them the win. But this is about promotion. This is about getting into Sky Bet League One next season. Throw to Stockport. It's all or nothing now for Dave Challoner and the Hatters. Long throw coming in from Hippolyte into the Salford area. Up goes Horsfall, drops on the seesaw line. Sarcevic, headed in! Jack Stretton! It's 2-2 on aggregate. Jack Stretton pounced at the far post to head it home, and Stockport were behind on aggregate for mere seconds before Jack Stretton nodded home. Sarcevic caused a nuisance inside the penalty area, put it to the far post. Stretton did the rest, and it's 2-2 on aggregate. We're back to penalties again.
This is unbelievable, and some stupid fans are just going to spoil the moment by running on the pitch. Please get them off as quick as you possibly can, because what a couple of minutes we've just had in this game. Great strike from Stephen Mallon. We all think Salford are going through to Wembley, but what a reaction from Stockport County. the substitute Jack Stretton, just in the right place at the right time. I mean, the long throw is incredible from Hippolyte. They keep it alive, it goes to the back stick, and he just wants it more than his marker and nods it into the corner of the net. Absolutely fantastic.
Back all square. It's 2-1 on the day, 2-2 on aggregate. Talksport app, less than 5 minutes of extra time to go, and absolutely no thought of playing out time in this half an hour that we've had in this extra time period. A goal apiece.
And where are they getting the energy, Dance? I mean,
no idea.
Look, they've given everything, and I can't tell you how difficult it is to play in these conditions. The pitch is sticky and dry now. The players are absolutely shattered, and we've had 2 goals in extra time.
Ball downfield, Paddy Madden trying to get onto a loose ball. Vassell heads it behind. Mariappa let the ball bounce inside his 18-yard box, and that was what forced Vassell to put it behind for a Stockport corner.
And this is the energy that we wanted to feel in this ground throughout the whole of the game. Well, we're certainly getting it now. What an ending.
Play up County is the song from the Cheadle end, which is where this corner's being taken from. Kyle Noyle, a right-footed in-swinger to come from the fullback into the near post, headed across the face of goal, and there was a push on a Salford player. Matty Lund flew in at the near post for his own defensive team, and almost heading it into a more dangerous area, but I think he got a shove, and so Salford get a free kick.
Yeah, Matty
and
Lund.
I say once again, how's your nerves? 2-2 on aggregate.
There must be plenty of them out there, I've got to tell you. Both sets of players are now thinking to themselves, I don't want to be that man who makes the mistake. I want to be the person who comes up with a worldy goal. Well, they've had 2 in extra time, the final 15 minutes of extra time, which has been brilliant. Just listen to this atmosphere.
Jack Stretton's 5th goal since joining in January from Derby County. And much as with the goal that Olafe scored in the second half of this game, most important goal he's scored thus far for his new club. 2-2 on aggregate. About 2 minutes of extra time to go, plus whatever Ben Toner wants to add on for stoppages. Is there a winner? Long ball downfield. Vassell heads it back towards his keeper. Keynes can't keep it in play. Another corner, another mix-up at the back. Salford are nervous. Can Stockport take advantage?
Again, you know, communication's just gone out of the window in this game. That long ball in behind Theo Vassell, and then Alex Keynes doesn't know whether to stick or twist. He comes off his line eventually, but the ball's already past him because of the pressure that Stockport are putting on him.
Well, this time it's going to be a left-footed outswinger from Chris Hussey from that far side where the family stand meets the Cheadle end, away to our right. Players massed around the penalty spot. Sarcevic in the Stretton rather in the 6-yard box, keeping an eye on the Salford keeper Alex Keynes. And the referee's got to have eyes in the back of his head at times like this. Hussey with a corner kick for Stockport. Deep to the far post. Up goes Madden! Pushed onto the post by the keeper, and there was a foul. But my word, Alex Keynes wasn't to know that. What a save from Paddy Madden. There was a whistle there for a foul, but Alex Keynes wouldn't have known there was a whistle, and he made a quite astonishing save to push Paddy Madden's header onto the post. It's a free kick to Salford anyway.
Unbelievable. I mean, great ball into the box. Wonderful header from Paddy Madden, who's now hit the crossbar and the post. But what a save from Alex Keynes. And you're right, I think the initial was either offside or a foul. But that is outstanding, because he wasn't to know that. And that was it, game, set, match, if that goal counted.
Well, reaching the sort of period where cameramen with their long lenses will be looking at the water bottles of the goalkeepers behind their goals to see what they've got written on there for which way players go from penalty kicks, because that's what we're destined for here on the Talksport app. Salford have a throw inside. The man of the match is being awarded as we move into, let me see, 3 minutes of added time. Ryan Roddell gets the nod from the sponsors and a nod of appreciation from another former left-back, left-wing-back, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about his quality throughout the game, which has been off the charts. Left or right foot. And he's come up trumps, hasn't he? Over on that left-hand side, he's had a brilliant performance. So difficult in situations like this, Dan, to actually pick out an individual, because team performance is what it's all about, but he's been outstanding.
Stockport goal kick, thumped downfield by Hinchliffe, but it comes back Salford's way, and Matty Lund trying to break over halfway, barges into Hussey, works it out to Luke Bolton, or tried to, but Rydell, just been given the man of the match award, steps in front, and Sarcevic takes over. So we're into that 3 minutes of added time at the end of extra time. Stretton, whose header's brought us level. It's worked out to Will Collar on the right hand side for Stockport, midway point of the half. Takes the game down to a slower pace. Noyle gives it back to Will Collar. He's got Toure at his back, comes inside and infield, taken over by Crowsdale. Midway point of the half. Back to the edge of the centre circle, and Hussey thought about a diagonal ball up to the area. It's Fraser Horsfall, gives it back to Hussey, loads forward in Stockport blue, wanted the ball played into the danger area. Hussey drifts out to the left hand side. Rydell with the cross, headed away by Vassell in front of Stretton, who was lurking at the near post. Long throw incoming from Miles Hippolyte. The last time he did it from that far side, it produced Stockport's second goal.
Yeah, it certainly did, and he's going to do exactly the same thing. Ball just coming into the box initially before this throw-in. What a clearance.
In it comes from Hippolyte. Lower, flatter, flicked on by Horsfall, headed out the area for Salford by Stevie Mallon, who thought his goal had taken Salford to Wembley with his deflected strike in extra time. Now Hinchliffe, long ball over the top for Stockport, but it'll bounce through to Cairns. There were two players trying to get onto it, Stretton and Collar, but neither would reach it, and it bounces through to Alex Cairns. I don't have a dog in this fight, and I'm nervous as hell for both sets of players.
It is. And again, you can see Cairns just taking his time now, but this is it. Probably the final minute of the game.
Yeah, we are into the final minute of added time at the end of extra time. Penalty kicks beckon for the right to go to Wembley to face Bradford of Carlisle, and that game's underway on the Talksport app, don't forget. It is currently 0-0, and over on Talksport 2, Casemiro has given Manchester United the lead, and Luke Bolton is being replaced late on by Shane McLaughlin. That's got to be a penalty kick substitution, I assume, from Neil Wood for Salford City.
Yeah, you would have to think so, wouldn't you? Thinking about it, obviously going into the final 20 seconds or something of this game. Tactical substitution.
Free kick for Stockport, launched downfield by Hinchliffe up to the left hand corner of the box. Hippolyte trying to keep the ball in play, but it goes behind for a goal kick. That may be that. We may be destined for someone's destiny to be shaped from 12 yards, whether it be in Stockport blue or Salford red. So 0-0 elsewhere on the Talksport app, with about 11 minutes gone at Brunton Park between Carlisle and Bradford, and they'll have gone out onto the pitch not knowing who their opponents are going to be.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? The drama of these playoffs, it's just never ending, but it's fantastic for neutrals and supporters.
And there goes the full-time whistle for extra time, and it will take penalty kicks to decide which of Stockport County or Salford City goes to Wembley. Penalty kicks at Edgeley Park for the right to go to Wembley a week tomorrow for the League 2 playoff final. Salford get first go from the spot. Matty Lund is only now placing the ball on the spot, 12 yards out. 7 goals this season. What's he like in a penalty shootout? He's first up, right footed, way over the bar, way over the bar. Terrible start for Salford. Cheers from the Stockport fans behind that goal. It's an early advantage to the Hatters.
My goodness. You talk about putting yourself under pressure and stepping up to take the first penalty. What you've got to try and do is hit the target and make Hinchliffe make a save in that Stockport goal, but that is not the best start in this penalty shootout from Salford.
Paddy Madden, the captain, 600 plus club appearances in his career, joined from Fleetwood Town. His penalty, smashed down the middle into the roof of the net, and Stockport lead after one penalty apiece.
That's how you do it. He has to be absolutely shattered, doesn't he, Barry Madden? But what a brilliant penalty from your forward.
Adrian Mariappa, a free agent in March, former Watford and Crystal Palace centre-half in the Premier League, was at Burton in League One in the first half of this season before he left in January, picked up by Neil Wood and Salford. He is second up for the Ammies. Short run up for Mariappa, right-footed, save! Hinchcliffe, guess right, went to his left, palmed it out, and Salford have bailed from the spot with their first two penalties. And here comes Ryan Croasdale to take Stockport's second penalty.
This is unbelievable. Mariappa there just picked his spot, but what an outstanding save from Hinchcliffe. Read the situation, went the right way, and it looked like a simple save in the end.
So Ryan Croasdale, a free from AFC Fylde a few years ago. His penalty, saved! Great save from Alex Cairns, went to his right, pushed it away, it wasn't too far into the corner, and after two penalties apiece, it is 1-0 to Stockport.
My goodness, goalkeeper's on top at the moment. Louis Barry stepping up, I think it is, for this third penalty spot for Salford.
Louis Barry on loan from Aston Villa, joined Villa in 2019. He was a West Brom youth at the start of his career. Can he get Salford off the mark with their third penalty? Slow run up, right footed, buries it in the bottom corner. Went to Hinchcliffe's right and he guessed correctly, but he couldn't get a glove on that. Really well struck by Louis Barry, and it's 1-1. Yeah. But Stockport have a penalty in hand, which is coming up now from Will Collar.
Still in favour of the home side at the moment, but this is a huge penalty for Will Collar. Come off the bench.
Yeah, Will Collar, Brighton youth, came from Hamilton in Scotland a couple of years ago. Another right-footed penalty coming up for Collar, and he sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, buries it in the bottom right-hand corner, and that's three penalties each. 2-1 to Stockport County.
Nice little penalty there from Will Collar, nice and cool, just slotting that one into the back of the net. This one falls to Stevie Mallon, who got that deflected goal in extra time, Dance.
Which he thought was going to send Salford to Wembley without the need for penalty kicks. Jack Stretton had other ideas. Mallon cradling the ball under his left arm, waits and then places the ball on the spot to our left hand side. Supporters thumping the advertising hoardings behind the goal to try and put him off. Stevie Mallon with the fourth penalty for Salford, saved again! And Stockport County are on the brink. Another save from Hinchcliffe, and if they stick this one away, they're off to Wembley.
This is unbelievable. Talked about finding the hero in the penalty shootout. Well, it's certainly so far been the Stockport County goalkeeper, Ben Hinchcliffe. Absolutely fantastic.
Anthony Sarcevic, who has been out for a month injured, named on the bench this afternoon, has the chance to send Stockport County to Wembley. Up against Cairns, right-footed, Sarcevic scores! That's it! Stockport County are Wembley bound. There is a pitch invasion at Edgeley Park. Salford City fail in their first ever EFL playoff encounter, but it is joy for Dave Challoner and Stockport County. Back-to-back promotions still very much on for the Hatters. They go to Wembley in the final a week tomorrow. They had to do it the hard way. 120 minutes of football and penalty kicks.